they can feed people during Russia's intensifying war.
New rules on agricultural exports introduced this week also prohibit the exports of millet, buckwheat, sugar, live cattle, and meat and other byproducts from cattle, according to a government announcement. The export ban is needed to prevent a humanitarian crisis in Ukraine, stabilize the market, and meet the needs of the population in critical food products. It's the latest sign that Russia's invasion of Ukraine threatened the food supplies and livelihoods of people in Europe, Africa, and Asia who rely on the farmlands of the Black Sea region, known as the breadbasket of the world. Bernie Bennett reporting.
U.S. congressional leaders have agreed to a $13.6 billion aid package for Ukraine, part of a $1.5 trillion stopgap spending bill to keep the government up and running through the end of the year. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to the middle of the week.
The last no, I guess I can't say that. I was going to say the last full week of wintertime, but no. The last full week before the time change.
This is true.
Yes.
Yeah, we do lose an hour.
I keep trying to remind myself and everyone else around me that, yes, time is about to change.
Mm-hmm. Times are a-changing.
The times they are a-changing.
Literally, Saturday night. Yeah, we've had this debate, but 100 times. But this is the one I hate. I love the back one. I love the extra hour.
I know.
I know it messes my internal clock, but I love the fact that I'm like, ooh, it's an hour earlier than what I feel like it is.
They're both going to mess with your internal clock.
Yeah.
I mean, they really both are.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, the thing for me is, you get that extra hour of sunlight in the evening. I always hate the fact that, the sun is just down by 6 o'clock. Here lately, it's been, like 6:30 or whatever, so that's been kind of nice.
Yeah.
But from my perspective, having kids, it's like I go pick them up at the end of the day, and that's it.
Yeah.
They're inside. There's no activity time. Now the kids are starting to play outside with the kids, the other kids in the neighborhood, and there's some little extra sunlight at night, and that's
so you get some more daddy time.
Well, yeah.
In the daylight savings time
Exactly.
era. I get you.
It's just kind of nice to have a little extra thing for the kids.
I'm curious, like in 10 years, you're gonna care as much.
Probably not.
10 years, you're gonna be like, I kind of like that extra hour of sleep.
But I mean,
perspective.
It's 1 hour, one weekend. Yeah, you're not losing that much.
I know, but the week of changing,
it's only 25 cents, and you get so much more.
Okay, upsize my popcorn guy.
Well, I mean, that's basically what it is. It's a little bit more for a lot more.
In all fairness, I'd rather pick a time and stick to it and leave it alone. That's what I'd rather.
Sure.
That's in an ideal world.
But if I had my druthers, I'd rather pick that time.
And by the way, Senator Cliff Pirtle, I like that idea, but only if the rest of the country does it too.
Right.
I hate the fact that we do it and Arizona does it and some other place does it and no one else does it.
It really messes with things when you drive into Texas and the clock in your car doesn't know what's going on. All of a sudden, it's like a completely different time of day. It's like 3 hours off.
Yeah.
What happened?
So, yeah, we just got to get everybody else on board.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, happy Wednesday.
Yes.
Happy middle of the week. Hope it's going to be a fun one for you. Weather-wise, still a little warm, but we're supposed to get like snow talk here by like Friday and Saturday.
There's always that one last hurrah before spring.
Yeah.
That one last freeze, just to screw with everybody, just to mess with everybody's system. They're like, okay, I can finally turn my heat down. Nope.
Not going to do it.
Not gonna do it.
Wouldn't be prudent.
1,000 points of that. Stay the course.
Yeah,
Final
none of that
freeze.
is going to happen here today.
You know what we needed to talk to is gosh, his name literally just left my head. Jim Gill.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he knows. He's the guy who knows all that good stuff.
Well, he just knows when to plant it during this stuff.
He knows when to plant, but he like studies the almanac.
Yeah.
So he knows like all that stuff. You can ask him about one of the most fascinating conversations I ever had with the man was about broomweed.
I don't even know what that is.
Exactly. But it's a good good indicator of when winter's coming, you know?
Okay.
Because when you see the broomweed, that's a good indicator that the winter's on
So
the
does
way.
that weed make a particularly good broom in a pinch? Is that the reason why it's called a broomweed?
I have no idea.
Like
I
you
think
could
it's
gather some of these weeds and
I would think that it's
sweep out your domicile
it's
with?
more broom-like.
Okay. All right.
More it's maybe broom adjacent. I don't know.
Broom adjacent. I don't know either. One thing I do know.
Yes.
I would like to invite folks out this Saturday, March the 12th. United Way of Chavez County is having Get Lucky Chavez County, a big St. Patrick's Day event happening this Saturday, March the 12th. That's going to be from 6 p.m. to 11:30 p.m. Wear your green.
Yes.
And get lucky. Of course, they're going to have all things Irish dinner. So get your Irish eats on. They're going to have a cocktail hour, casino-style gambling, and dancing.
Nice.
So a little something for everybody. You're not into gambling? Do some dancing. Not into dancing? Do some gambling.
I'm curious.
Like both? You know, get your dance and your gamble.
Like both? It's going to be a full night for you.
That's right.
I am curious, though, when they say dancing, is it Irish step dancing? Are we going to get like all in a line and go Michael Flatley on them?
I maybe for a little bit,
Just
but
a little bit of
I imagine a bunch of people from Roswell got maybe one or two Irish jigs in them, and that's it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
It's not a whole night of that.
I'll tell you
so
this.
I'm thinking they've got to change up the music.
I've witnessed a room full of fathers get heavily winded after doing the hokey pokey.
Yeah.
So I understand that entirely.
I'm done after the chicken dance.
Well, and then when you do those back to back, it's quite a 1-2 punch.
Yeah. So anyway, the event will be this Saturday night. It's going to be taking place at the Roswell Convention and Civic Center. Tickets are $50, and to purchase tickets, you can get online to getluckychavezcounty.brownpapertickets.com. You can also call 622-4150 for more information. And again, all the proceeds for this event will go to United Way of Chavez County, which helps a ton of organizations here in our community.
I felt like you need a soundtrack.
Yeah. This Saturday, let me see if I can back you off. It's just a little. There we go. It's a little better. Yeah, there we go. There we go. It's a little better. Yeah, so get on out here this Saturday night. Come get your Irish eats on. Cocktail hour, gambling, and music, and everything else. All fundraising event. Wear your green, though. It is a St. Patty's Day event.
Aye.
This Saturday night. All right.
There'll be pinchers.
It is 12 minutes after 7 o'clock. Actually, 13 minutes after 7 o'clock. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. It looks pretty good for the next couple of days, but we do have a low pressure system that'll be rolling in on Thursday night and Friday. That may bring us a few showers. In the meantime, sunny and breezy today. We're looking at upper 60s for the afternoon high, down to about 30 and clear for the overnight hours, and then mid 60s and sunny on Thursday. Scattered showers coming up for Friday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. And currently, 28 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 41% with winds out of the northwest at 6 miles per hour. Looking at a pretty warm day today. Sunny skies, a high of 67. Winds will be out of the south at around 5 to 10 this morning, but picking up 15 to 20 for later today. Tonight, mostly clear skies with an overnight low of 29 degrees. Winds out of the southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. For you Thursday, sunny, 65 tomorrow. Winds will be out of the east, 10 to 15 early. Shifting to the southwest, an increase in 15 to 20 by Thursday afternoon. Thursday night and Friday, we're looking at snow chances. Believe it or not, we are looking at a 20% chance of snow after 11 p.m. Thursday night. Increasing clouds with an overnight low of 25. They use the term blustery. Yeah. We're looking at southwest winds at around 10 to 15, becoming north 20 to 25, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour. So 20% chance of snow and cold and windy Thursday night. So Friday, that's going to be a much colder day. They're saying a 60% chance of snow before 11 a.m., mostly cloudy, then gradually becoming sunny. High of only 38 on Friday with north winds 15 to 20 miles per hour. So they're saying good chances of snow, but I'm not seeing accumulations. So I don't know what that means, whether if it's going to stick or not, or who knows. But could see some snow. And then looking at the weekend on Saturday, back into the 60s, warming up for the weekend. Sunny and 64 on Saturday, sunny and 73 on Sunday. So there you go. Look at your weather forecast for today. I do have a guest. I'm just not sure who's going on there. So let's do this. Let's take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Sure, you can inspect your own roof, get out that rickety ladder, crawl around up there and try to spot the problem until... Or you could call the experts at Do Right Roofing. Do Right Roofing has quality products for any type of roof. They can even install seamless gutters. Do Right Roofing will inspect your roof and give you a free estimate fast. Keep your feet on the ground. Call Do Right Roofing today.
575-623-2273. Let Do Right do your roof right.
Find them fast in names and numbers.
When it comes to the security of your home or business, you want a local company, one that has a personal investment right here in Southeast New Mexico. Zenith Security Services is your local Honeywell dealer. Zenith can handle all of your business and residential alarms, cameras, and IT services, as well as home theater installations, all from a local company. The Spring Starter Package is now available at Zenith Security Services for your home or business. Call the real Zenith Security Services today. 575-626-3521. Zenith Security Services, protection with a local
Celebrate
touch.
spring break at the Spring River Zoo with one of their exciting day camps. Each day is a separate camp where children will enjoy animal-themed crafts and games, fun educational activities, a guided tour of the zoo, and amazing encounters with the animals. For children aged 4 through 6, events will take place March 14th and 15th from 8 a.m. till noon. For children aged 7 to 12, themed camps will take place March 16th, 17th, and 18th from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call the Spring River Zoo at 575-624-6750 or visit roswellconnect.org for information and to reserve your ticket.
Members of Central Valley Electric Cooperative are invited to attend the 2022 annual meeting to be held Saturday, March 19th at the Estelle Yates High School Auditorium in Artesia, New Mexico. Come meet your fellow co-op members, hear about the status of your electric co-op and what is planned for the future. There will be door prizes and a nice gift. Plus, the first 200 members to register will each receive a $50 gift card. Limit one card per membership. Registration begins at 9 a.m. The annual meeting begins at 10 a.m. Mark your calendar and please attend the Central Valley Electric Co-op annual meeting March 19th in Artesia, New Mexico. We look forward to seeing you there.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more. When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it. We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors. Whether they are in the mountains of New Mexico, the plains of Nebraska and Kansas, the ranches of Oklahoma and Texas, the farmlands of Missouri and Arkansas, or the bayous of Louisiana, we are here for our hometowns. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard. Aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun facts. The world's oldest chewing gum dates back to at least 5,000 years. After chewing it, they stuck it at the bottom of their desk. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 19 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in the studio this morning from the Chaves County Federated Republican Women, Christina Arnold with us, and then from the New Mexico Federated Republican Women, Teresa Barncastle with us. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How's everybody doing?
Very good.
Good.
Absolutely.
Congratulations, by the way, on your municipal election win.
Oh, yes.
I don't know
Thank
if
you.
that's a congratulations or guess what? You just got a bunch of work to do now.
Yeah, I always say pro-con, you could win. You could win.
Very good. But kind of before we talk about some of the upcoming events and things, I like to always do this. We usually talk about Chaves, but since Teresa's here, maybe we can kind of talk more on the state level version and give a little bit of background on what the Federated Republican Women, obviously I think a lot of people can kind of figure out the hunk of it, but I'm sure there's more to it than most people realize here.
Yeah, exactly.
But the state level and obviously the Chaves County level of the Federated Republican Women.
Okay, so on the Chaves County side, we are kind of a civics-minded organization of women that are Republican that work in the community. We work in the community to assist other Republican women, other people of our community. We work with different communities and different charities. But our main goal is to educate on issues and assist Republican candidates.
Gotcha. So really when it's like the non-election years, you're doing like more of the community charity work. And then times like this, you're focusing more on your candidates and getting word out about the candidates.
Yeah, we do a lot of educating.
Gotcha. And I imagine the state levels, same mission, but a little bit bigger scale, I'm guessing.
Correct. We have 16 active clubs in the state, almost 1,000 women.
Nice.
And we're adding 3 more clubs this year.
Okay.
Minimum. We've got some others that are talking jurisdictions around the state.
Okay.
We do the same. We help our local clubs. Of course, all the local clubs is what makes up the state.
Sure.
So we're always sharing information, kind of leading everyone from the national level. We pass on information, give training. We just had a wonderful training section up in Santa Fe, and it was, all about leadership and organizing, all different legal issues.
Sure.
And then our next meeting is going to be about campaigning to win.
Very good. Yeah, that's something, and I think, we just had our municipal election here, and that's one ththing I've always been, and I've been preaching since I've started this, is educating and understanding. I'm almost a person, because this is the United States of America, is, you're entitled to your opinions, and I respect that as long as you can give me an educated reason on why you're backing that piece of information there. And that's exactly what you guys do. It's like saying, hey, obviously for the Republican side of things because of their conservative ideology, but you're saying, look, you guys want to do more out here. Great. You got to educate yourself. Just don't get online and start spewing. That doesn't really help. But educate yourself. Understand how the system works and how you can work within it. Then I guess next thing you know, you're a lot more effective of getting the type of change you're looking for when you know how to work with the system or understand how the system works, So.
Well, I will mention this. We actually here in Chaves County, we do two different forms of education. So we have our monthly luncheon for our members and, guests to come and hear speakers.
Yeah.
But we wanted to cover issues and policy, so we created monthly forums. Or not monthly forums, but forums, and they're usually 2 or 3 a year.
Okay.
And that is kind of leading us to why we're here. We're having a gubernatorial forum.
Okay. Well, obviously, election year here. Now that the municipal election, at least in our part of the woods, is done here, and for most everybody else, I think, that didn't do it in November.
Right.
Now we're turning our attention to primary season here in June. So, particularly, Republicans and Democrats are going to have to, more so Republicans right now, they're going to have an important decision to make here in June on who they want to represent them as governor here in the general election. So. Between now and then, our job as citizens is to educate ourselves as much as possible on the candidates that are available to us at this election and pick the one that lines up best with what we believe in. And that's what you guys are doing, is providing that opportunity for folks to come and
presenting options. Exactly, yes.
And see what, because I got to be honest, you look at with 4 Republican candidates now for governor, right?
Yes.
I look at they're all good candidates. You know what I mean? You look at by a person, you get down and I think I agree with that. I agree with that.
No, we have wonderful. I haven't heard today if one more signed up, got the petitions needed, signatures needed.
Okay.
So we might have 5.
Okay.
I haven't heard yet. So.
Okay. So more to come there.
all of them are just awesome, amazing people.
Sure.
All of them can get out there and lead the state in a wonderful direction.
Sure.
Yes.
Just now, obviously, you guys aren't in the actual campaigns and stuff. You guys stay neutral on that kind of stuff. But just out of curiosity, regardless what happens here in June, whichever candidate gets the nod here, do you see a rallying behind that candidate with the other candidates? I hope I just get worried that, if we get real heated, which, knock on wood, I don't think this race has gotten that kind of heated. But when you get past it, you're like, okay, is everybody going to be able to join forces here? Because,
that is what we are encouraging.
Yeah, because you're going to need a united front to go up against the general election.
Yeah, it's not an option.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
the primary is just part of the process. And so we need every Republican to get their focus on electing a Republican governor, not just a particular person. We do encourage people to pick their candidate now, go out and help them.
Sure.
We tell all of our members to support them.
Yeah, if you're looking for links to the campaigns, you guys will be happy to help them with that, to help if you want to volunteer with a particular gubernatorial campaign, anything from passing out yard signs to getting, more into the raising funding side of things, whatever it is, you can hook them up with that. But the real thing is, we'd love to come out to the forums, to these forums, to really hear, because even if you've got your mind made up right now, I got to be honest, these are 4 candidates that, there's differences, but there's a lot of similarities here. I think you really do your due diligence here, and even if in your head you're like, I'm backing horse A, you got a couple months. Let's listen. Maybe all of us, things happen, things change. Maybe something, because every time I hear one, I'm like, I like what they're saying, and I go to the next one, like, I like what they're saying. I like what they're saying, and then so really, it's going to be down to an X factor for some things. It's like, how do they handle pressure? How do they deal with other people? How, it's going to be little things like that make that difference sometimes.
Absolutely.
So that's where you can see that in these forums.
And we encourage the candidates to bring out their differences between all of them, and that helps us just make decisions.
Yeah, because obviously there's got to be some. They're not robots.
Right, exactly. They're not carbon copies.
Sure. Well, I think what the big picture is, and is ideologically we all have the same conservative. It's just we want different paths to get there. Some have different ideas on how to tackle education, versus spending, and oil and gas and that role in here, and how to implement that and stuff. That maybe there's differences in some of that, but overall we all want the best for the state, and kind of how we do it from the same mindset of a conservative mindset.
So on the actual forums, I wanted Teresa to kind of talk about what the NMFRW has accomplished on a state level, and then I want to go ahead and give you some details.
Yeah, and we need the nuts and bolts of the event too. So yeah,
we reached out to the candidates and said, okay, rather than just throwing money at a candidate, would you rather that we set all these up, or we go out and walk for them, handing out their brochures? And they said, we want the manpower.
Okay.
So what we've done on the forums is we're going to start in Lee County on Monday night. Then on Tuesday night, on the 15th, we're hitting up Chaves County.
Okay.
Moving to the 16th, we're going to go to Alamogordo, and then on to Las Cruces. So the 15th will be right here in Chaves County. The candidates will, and we're just sponsoring these forums for all the candidates.
Providing a venue.
For the people. If they want to see the candidates firsthand, come out.
Sure.
And I'll let Christina, tell about Travis County on the 15th.
Now, of course, if folks are listening that live in Lee County here, please mark those other dates. Or if you're in Otero County there for Alamogordo, or out in Donana there, Cruces area later on, go to those events in your areas, or if you got friends in those areas, spread the word on those. But for folks here in Travis County, the 15th is going to be that date.
All of our forums are open to the public. Our goal is to actually create where we can have a very wide discussion about issues and policies.
Okay.
But we're excited about having the gubernatorial forum because it's not meeting one candidate. You're going to meet all of them.
Sure.
Also, other candidates will come out and attend. I will say, let me go ahead and start with this. It is Tuesday night, March 15th.
Okay.
At the Liberty.
Okay.
And the doors open at 5:30 and it runs until 8. And it's a Q&A forum. So you'll have we have had 3 confirmed that they will be there, and that is Jay Block, Greg Zanetti, and Rebecca Dow.
Okay.
At this point, those are confirmed, and so we should have a really good discussion, a lot of great questions, and they're going to be all on the stage at once answering the questions. So it's going to be kind of a back-to-back, and you can see, you can kind of tell the temperature of them and get a better gauge.
Absolutely.
So we're actually very excited about it.
Something I would really like, I'd be curious, my own personal, because you have Block and Zanetti, they're both military background people.
Yes.
I'm very curious to see how they're alike and how they're different side by side. You know what I mean? Because being someone that was in the military myself, I know the military ideology and mindset and how a person that's, just how people that were in the military, there's a certain way we think sometimes, and you so I'd be very curious to see how much they alike and how much, where they do branch off a little bit for some of that.
It is very interesting.
Yeah, and that's where this forum
and that's how
it,
it comes out.
Yeah.
It'll come out in your questions. It'll come out in how they react to each other's questions. And so I believe actually it's going to be very interesting.
So if we need some carrots to dangle, it's going to be at the Liberty. I'm guessing there's going to be some good food and eats and things that are going to be available too.
And a cash bar. So yes,
nice.
Let me throw that out there. Have a glass of wine. You might need it.
Before things get too heated, have a nice drink to sit down a little bit, and then we can start calm and rationally talking a little bit. But so come and get to some. They always got good food over there.
Yes.
So even if you don't like what you hear, you're going to like what you eat.
Yes, absolutely. I will actually say the one thing that we're very excited about is that this is actually sponsored by, of course, the local Chaves County Federated Women. It's sponsored by the Republican Party's, is it their PAC, Serve New Mexico? Nonprofit.
Okay.
Serve New Mexico.
Very good.
And then the NMFRW. So we're really all working together to be prepared for after June.
Awesome. And another thing I would probably want to throw out there, too, is if you're interested in becoming a Republican woman, either at the state level or the Chaves County level here, you got some people to talk to and find out how you can get involved. And by the way, at least I know in the Chaves County, guys are involved. It's not just women.
No.
Men are involved with the Chaves County Federated
all
Republican.
across the state.
Gotcha. I kind of figured that was, but I didn't want to speak out of turn.
Whenever you join, if you were to join the Chaves County, you automatically become a member of the state and a member of national.
Okay. Because in case you hadn't noticed, Chaves County's in New Mexico.
Yeah.
So
It does work. It does work.
Despite people think that New Mexico's not the United States.
Well, you don't have to pay extra.
It's included.
Yes.
You're part of it, because at the end of the day, it's the same organization, just different chapters of it or different subdivisions.
We have quite a few associate members, and men fall under our associate members.
Gotcha.
So we have quite a few of those, and we always love it when they come, to our meetings. So it's not just all women, but also I do want to include, when we scheduled this, we did something on purpose, and we have our luncheon, our monthly luncheon, the next day on Wednesday the 16th, and that's going to be our lieutenant governors.
Okay. So if you want to meet our lieutenant governor, gubernatorial candidates here, then come out for that.
Yeah. So we have 2 opportunities for candidates traveling, all across the state to come in, stay the night, and then be there for the next event. So it's our goal is just to give them as much opportunity to be exposed and meet with as many people as possible.
And I love that one because lieutenant governor race is generally not as sexy and paid attention to as the gubernatorial race here. However, the decisions are equally important there because that could be your governor someday.
It could be your governor.
Yes.
You know, and so you want to scrutinize that just as much,
Right.
and so
And they
I
can
agree
actually assist in the gubernatorial candidate, depending on what kind of candidate.
Sure.
We have some really solid lieutenant governor candidates.
Absolutely.
So, yes.
Yeah, and it could be a two-headed tackling these problems in the state there.
Correct.
You know, especially if ideologically they agree, but maybe different ways to do certain things, that might be a good thing, you know, with having two different people attacking a problem from different angles, kind of.
I actually like the way New Mexico does it, where the lieutenant governor kind of runs on his own merit, and it's not actually chosen by the governor or, like the vice president is for the
Sure.
nation. You actually you can have two different personalities or two different wheelhouses.
Campaigns, really, yeah.
And they're totally two different people, but the people put them together with their vote. And so it's really interesting to kind of see if you can pick people who will, benefit each other.
Yeah, you
as
want
far
that
as
kind of yin
mirror
and
off it.
yang,
Yeah.
or
Mhm.
kind of, you want, whether you agree if the opposites attract
Yeah.
kind of philosophy.
That can happen too.
Or the same head sharing a different body, whatever it is, you want that. But there, there's good and bad for
Yeah.
each. So
Yep.
very cool. But bringing it back in, we want to invite people, come out to the gubernatorial candidate forum. It's going to be the 15th March, next week, next Tuesday. It's going to be at the Liberty.
At the Liberty.
Beginning at 5:30, you said?
The doors open at 5:30.
Doors open at
Event
5:30.
starts at 6.
Okay.
And we should hope to have it all wrapped up by 8.
And of course, it doesn't cost to get in.
No.
Obviously, if you want to have drinks and
Yep.
food, you're buying that.
Yeah.
But,
Well, we're providing the hors d'oeuvres.
Yes.
Okay, nice.
Yep.
So,
But you do have to buy your liquor.
well, I know what's going to happen is your hors d'oeuvres are good, and you'll be like, man, I want some more, and then you
Yeah.
want a meal. And,
Yeah, that's true.
I guess
Yep.
they're very, but they're really setting you up to buy food because you're going to be hungry when
Right.
you eat it.
Yes.
But really come and learn. Even if you think you're kind of like, I'm backing this candidate, whatever
Right.
it is, come out. We still got a few months between now and June here.
Yep.
So a lot can happen in those
Yep.
in those months, especially in the political world. That's
Yep.
100 years in the politics world. So please come out, listen with these candidates. Hey, hear them talk. And then and the thing I like about this too is a lot of times afterwards or before, you get a chance to some one-on-one time with some of these kids.
Yes.
You go up and meet, introduce and talk to them, and almost all the time they'll sit and talk with you a little bit and talk policy or talk, ideology or whatever, talk the campaign with you. And who knows, maybe and obviously if you're looking to get more involved in one of these campaigns,
Right.
there you go.
And
You
you
got it
can,
right
yeah,
there.
absolutely, because you can meet with their reps, and
Yeah.
it's a perfect meet and greet where you get, kind of a whole bunch of candidates at once, and that's kind of why it's beneficial for the public to actually engage in this,
Sure.
because you may not have the time to go out and see them on an individual basis, but we're putting them all in one house for you.
Absolutely. And you really get, I'm sure this happens so many times where, especially with some of our gubernatorial candidates here, if they go on to be governor, and this is kind of that grassroots time where they're
Right.
meeting and shaking hands with the peoples. And I'm thinking sometimes some of those interactions they have stick with them more than anything else. Like they'd
Yep.
be like, once they get elected governor and they're sitting there and you're like, hey, I remember having a conversation with a person in Roswell and they were talking about this problem they're having in the schools here. That's
Yeah.
something I want to address. And, so please come out and talk to these. When you tell these stories and share what you're wanting and what you're looking for, these stories stick with these candidates. And I think it really puts that fire in their belly to really want to make those positive changes for us and stuff. So please arm them up with all that kind of stuff. Give them the ammo they need so when they do get elected, they can use that to do some good for us.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. What else? Is there anything else we want to make sure we mention?
We just have those 2 events. We hope people will, come out. You'll hear about, the Wednesday event again on Tuesday, but definitely come out, meet the candidates on Tuesday night,
Yeah.
March 15th, 5:30, Liberty. So that's what we really wanted to come talk about this morning, and let people know we're gearing up and the
Sure.
whole state is getting ready.
And of course, if you're interested in becoming a member of the Federated Republican Women, either whatever level, come out to the Liberty. Yeah, at all levels. But when you, if interested in being involved, come out to Liberty is probably the best bet. Come out there and just talk with some of the folks there, and we'll get the ball rolling for you on that.
Yeah, they can speak with Joan Bouet, who is our membership chair. So yes, absolutely, she'll be there.
And in the meantime, if you guys have a social or on social media have Facebook, right? I know there's a Chaves County Federated Republican Women page. I'm assuming there's a state one as well
there
too.
Is.
Very good.
There's a state and a national, and you can go there and. At the national level, they do all kinds of national
campaigns.
Just the issues.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
basically putting those issues, putting what's going on in those on the radar, so you can, a place for you to learn and research some of that.
And they put out calls like whenever a campaign needs help, or like when we were flipping, what state was it, Virginia?
Yes.
Yes. Whenever we did that, that was done all across the nation by women. And some were walking the streets. The others were making phone calls.
Gotcha.
Others were raising money. So it wasn't just Virginia. It was nationwide. People were doing things.
Good deal. So that's kind of that plug system to bring the local to the national and vice versa, the national to the local.
We did the same thing in the city council race. That was the runoff in Albuquerque. We got behind there and made phone calls, and you can do it from your house. So we made phone calls, donated money. We put out the call. People showed up to walk. They would meet in a Target parking lot and head out.
Nice.
So we are doing some amazing things across the nation.
So some people are hearing this and saying, man, I want to get involved with that. Please come out to Liberty on Tuesday. Start the process then. Come meet some of the Federated Women. Listen to the gubernatorial candidates, and who knows, maybe next time the bells rung, you're out there making calls and doing things to get that these things taken care of. So good deal. Well, thank you, ladies.
Thank you. Always.
Thank
you all have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
We're getting ready for our forum, so it's going to be busy.
That's right. That's right. Just you got one breath, but not a whole lot of breath between elections here. You kind of hit the ground running again.
No, because we have a lot of candidates to get up and out there until June.
Well,
so
it's an important year for the election here. This is. If you're not happy with the things that have been going on the last couple of years, this is the year that you get to speak that. And
exactly.
That's please educate yourself and for especially since we only had 5,500 people vote in this last municipal election. For God's sake, please vote.
Right.
Yes, that's a big thing across the state. We need people to get out and vote these candidates in, these Republican candidates in. We have got to get people not being complacent and get up off the couch and go to the polls.
Yep.
That's a minority of people that are choosing for us. So
I know we live in a world where they encourage you to just sit on your couch and watch TV and order DoorDash or whatever and not move ever again. But this one, we needed you to get off the couch and do a little bit about.
Yeah.
So, excellent. Well, thank you, ladies. Appreciate it. We'll see you next time.
Absolutely.
And don't work too hard.
Okay.
All right, it is 7:41. We're going to pause for news. Kim Commando and your Chaves County Sports Update brought to you by DSI. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update. I'm Jared Cirillo. A rescue operation this week in the 3400 block of McGaffey Street after a man fell 40, maybe even 50 feet down a well. Fire rescue operators determined they would need a long rope and made access to the patient by rappelling down the well. Amazingly, the patient was rescued and was taken by air ambulance to a hospital in Lubbock, Texas. The name of the patient was not released. As part of the City of Roswell street maintenance work, pavement maintenance operations called Hot Recycling and some associated prep work will take place on several Roswell streets over the next few weeks. The work will require some lanes of traffic to be closed at various times. The work will begin on Monday. It's expected to last through the end of this month, beginning with South Lee Avenue from Jaffa Street to West Hobbs, and then proceeding on Garden Avenue from East McGaffey to 2nd Street. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
When Apple announces new products, it's usually with lots of fanfare. But yesterday, even with a few exciting new ones, things were surprisingly low-key. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by CarShield. Hate expensive repairs? Get protected at carshield.com/Kim and save 10%. Deductible may apply. With the war in Ukraine, Perhaps new Apple products aren't as important as before. You be the judge. First, there's a new iPad Air 5 with 5G and Apple's powerful M1 chip. Prices start at $599. If you do graphics or video, Apple wants you to meet its new Mac Studio. It's a Mac Mini on steroids with an M1 Max chip or the even more powerful M1 Ultra chip. Prices start at $2,000. And if you're budget-minded, there's the new iPhone SE3, a great phone with some caveats. It has 5G, but it won't work on Verizon's fastest 5G network, and there's no night mode for the camera. Apple made a mistake with this one. The cost? $429. Get details on all the new products at commando.com.
I get questions from small business owners every day, and one of the big ones is how to find and hire the right people. It can be tough, but that's where LinkedIn Jobs comes in. They make it easier to find the people you want to talk to, faster and for free. Create a free job post in minutes on LinkedIn Job to reach your network and beyond to the world's largest professional network of over 770 million people. Focus on candidates with just the right skills and experience, and then use screening questions to get your role in front of only the most qualified people. You can also use simple tools on LinkedIn Jobs to quickly filter and prioritize who you'd like to interview and hire. LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the candidates worth interviewing faster. Did you know that every week, nearly 40 million job seekers visit LinkedIn? And you can post your job for free right now at linkedin.com/Kim. That's linkedin.com/Kim. Terms and conditions apply. That's linkedin.com/Kim.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. It looks pretty good for the next couple of days, but we do have a low pressure system that'll be rolling in on Thursday night and Friday. That may bring us a few showers. In the meantime, sunny and breezy today. We're looking at upper 60s for the afternoon high, down to about 30 and clear for the overnight hours, and then mid 60s and sunny on Thursday. Scattered showers coming up for Friday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Hey, New Mexico. Experiencing issues keeping your office technology up to date with these crazy supply chain issues? Well, DSI is here to help. We've diversified our products and solutions to help your business not just survive, but thrive in any situation. Have your teams collaborate and share with high-def video walls and interactive smart panels. With free unlimited support, the fear of any new technology is a thing of the past. Contact DSI today to upgrade your workspace. www.dsinm.com.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. It was a great season for the Gateway Christian girls basketball team, but it came to an end last night at Melrose. Gateway's the 5th seed in 1A girls. Melrose was the 4th seed. It was on Melrose's home turf, and the Buffaloes won that 37-31. Gateway finishes 18-3. 2 of those losses came to Melrose. Hagerman also with a great record, playing tonight on the road in the boys 2A quarterfinals. Hagerman is 22-3, but they've got a tough task playing at number 2 Pecos. Starts tonight at 6 o'clock. And I got a baseball score to pass along to you. NMMI is off to a good start this season, 3-0, and scoring a lot of runs. The Colts won last night against Ruidoso by a score of 10-0 to continue to stay undefeated early. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell Talk FM 106.5.
If your tires are flat, need your car fixed, our reviews are better than mixed at Big O. At Big O Tires. We do the job fast and with a smile. Whatever the problem, we go the extra mile at Big O. At Big O Tires. Trusted service, no need to lie. Hop online, our reviews are high at Big O. At Big O Tires. Unbeatable service in all our stores, and that's why we get such high scores at Big O. At Big O Tires.
You can trust the team at Big O Tires for great service and even better deals. Come in today and save up to $100 instantly on select in-stock sets of Cooper, Nitto, and Pirelli brand tires. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Installation charges extra, required on all 4 tires. Disposal fees extra and up to 10% shop fee based on non-discounted regular retail price not to exceed $35 where permitted. Not valid with other offers. Valid at participating locations. Expires 3/27/2022.
Happiness isn't about getting what you want all the time. It's about loving what you have and being grateful for it.
Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smitherman for The Joy of Marriage.
As people, we can get so focused on what we don't have, we don't appreciate what we do have. We can make ourselves miserable, angry, and even depressed by focusing our thoughts and words on the negative. Take a look around and find something to be grateful for that your spouse does. It will change your attitude in your marriage.
1 Thessalonians 5:18 says, "No matter what happens, always be thankful, for this is God's will for you who belong to Christ Jesus."
Take it from me, I was such a negative person, but by renewing my mind with God's Word and learning to be thankful, it changed my life and greatly impacted my marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. Announcing a ban on Russian oil imports, President Joe Biden said Americans will feel the pain. At the gas pump, the president said defending freedom is going to cost. Biden ordered a ban on Russian oil imports in retaliation for Vladimir Putin's onslaught in Ukraine. Energy exports have kept a steady stream of cash flowing to Russia, despite otherwise severe restrictions on its financial sector. Gasoline prices are at a record high in the United States. The national average topped $4.17 a gallon on Tuesday, and over $5 a gallon in parts of California. That's according to AAA. McDonald's, Starbucks, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, and General Electric all announced Tuesday they were temporarily suspending their business in Russia in response to the country's invasion of Ukraine. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Celebrate spring break at the Spring River Zoo with one of their exciting day camps. Each day is a separate camp where children will enjoy animal-themed crafts and games, fun educational activities, a guided tour of the zoo, and amazing encounters with the animals for children aged 4 through 6. Events will take place March 14th and 15th from 8 a.m. till noon. For children aged 7 to 12, themed camps will take place March 16th, 17th, and 18th from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call the Spring River Zoo at 575-624-6750 or visit roswellconnect.org for information and to reserve your ticket.
For over 40 years, Sierra Blanca Motors here in Roswell have been providing locals with quality vehicles and are committed to providing you quality vehicles and service for many years to come. No sales gimmicks, no inflated pricing, just a quality pre-owned vehicle listed at retail pricing or less. Have a used vehicle to sell? Get top trade-in value or an amazing cash offer today. Let Danny or Jose provide you a great car buying experience. Call 575-622-7907 or stop by Sierra Blanca Motors at 720 South Main Street in Roswell. Se habla español.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Bamboo plants can grow up to 36 inches in a day. So if you're told you're growing like a weed, you can say, "No, I'm growing like a bamboo." Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 51 minutes after 7 o'clock. Next hour, about 8:15 or so, we're scheduled to have Superintendent Brian Luck join us, RISD Superintendent, although I did get a text from him earlier saying he might be a little late. He's handling some business this morning, so hopefully that won't delay him too much. But we'll have him join us next hour. We'll get highlights from city council, school board meeting, and other things happening around the RISD here this morning. Let's see, a couple things do want to put on your radar here. And also, by the way, I forgot to mention in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, Andrea Moore with the Roswell Chamber of Commerce will join us, give us an update there. Rise Over Roswell. I saw an email yesterday saying they have not sold out yet, but tickets are almost sold out. So if you plan on attending Rise Over Roswell here, you might want to get your tickets like today. But we'll get an update from Andrea next hour there. I do want to remind folks that the United Way of Chaves County is having a fundraising event this Saturday night. Get Lucky Chaves County. It's this Saturday, March 12th from 6 to 11:30 p.m. at the Roswell Convention and Civic Center. Tickets are $50, and it's going to be a fun night of, getting lucky, Irish. They're going to wear you green and get lucky. They're going to have an all things Irish dinner, cocktail hour, casino-style gambling, and dancing. All of the proceeds from the evening will go to United Way of Chaves County, which, of course, they help so many organizations here in Chaves County. almost, if you think about some of our big charitable organizations, odds are pretty good that United Way supports them. Not every single one, but a good bunch of them. Everything from our scouting to, I'm just throwing stuff out there. It's just pretty much everything. They get some backing from United Way. So come on out and enjoy an Irish dinner and some dancing and music and drinks and all that good stuff and little gameplay. And then, of course, raise money for United Way of Chaves County. If you want to get tickets, you can go online to getluckychavezcounty.brownpapertickets.com, or you can also call 575-622-4150. I imagine if you go to United Way of Chaves County's Facebook page, you'll find a direct link to the tickets. But if you can't, just go to www.getluckychavezcounty.brownpapertickets.com, and that'll take you to the link to get tickets for this Saturday night. But yeah, come on out, wear your green. You might get pinched if you don't. That is a rule. Although it's not the 17th. It's technically not St. Patty's Day, so I don't know. Like even though it's a St. Patrick's event, I have to check on in the books to see what the legalities are on that, because it's a St. Patrick's Day event, so you should wear green and do all things St. Patty's. But if you do not wear green, are you deserving of a pinch? I would say yes, although it might be a technicality that you get off because it's technically not St. Patrick's Day. That's on the 17th. So I don't know. Just wear green. Then you don't have to worry about it. Then you don't have to worry about the legal ramifications. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Hey, parents, listen up. This is back is happening again in June. Camp Invention is going to be happening again. Jump into big adventures this summer. If you're just hearing about this, it's a fun week-long STEM-based day camp for kids entering kindergarten through 6th grade. And they work on 4 different make and take-home projects during the week, and all fun STEM-based stuff. And it's a week of day camp. They go daily from 9 a.m. to 3:30. There's also an option to go from 7:30 to 5:30 if those hours suit you a little bit better. But the actual camp itself will be from 9 a.m. to 3:30. And cost for the camp is $255. However, there are discounts and partial scholarships available for this. As a matter of fact, if you go through their website to get registered, you could save $25 if you do so before March 31st. If you go to invent.org/camp, and you can find, and then you're going to see a drop box that says find a camp near you, type Roswell NM, and it'll pop right up. And then when you're registering, if you use Explore 25 in the offer codes, you're going to save $25 on that. Now, before you sign up, let me tell you about what's going on at the camp. Like I said, they've got 4 different make and take projects, all STEM related, all fun as they learn different avenues of science. One of the areas is called Robot Aquatics. Campers will create a habitat for a robotic fish. They complete with a symbiotic friend, and then they get to take the fish home in their little mini fish tank. So they get to, that's pretty cool. Make your own robot fish and fish tank. Spacecation is another one. Inspired by a real space exploration, campers will construct space packs and astro arm devices. And with that, they'll mine asteroids and observe ice volcanoes. So they get to do some cool stuff there. The NIHF's The Attic is one of the also modules there, combining science and art to build their own robotic artists. Campers make spin art and learn that everyone can be creative. So a little creativity in there, a little STEAM with their STEM. And then the final module they'll be working on that week is the Marble Arcade. Campers get their game on as they experiment with the fun of physics and engineering to build their own marble arcade. So a big fun week. The kids are going to love it. It's going to be taking place at First United Methodist Church at 200 North Pennsylvania, June 6th through June 10th, again, from 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. each day. They do have an extended hours available and an additional cost for $80 more. That'll get you from 7:30 to 5:30. They also have the LIT program for leaders in training. I believe that's 7th, 8th, and 9th graders can apply for that. It's a discounted fee, and you work as kind of one of the counselors in training or a leader in training. And you do participate in the camp stuff, but at the same time, you're also kind of one of the camp counselors, leading and helping with the instruction and with the wrangling of the campers and all that good stuff. Now, if a $25 discount isn't enough for you, you need more, Peggy Boland, the camp director, does have available partial scholarships for this, thanks to generous donors in our community. By the way, if you'd like to donate money, be a sponsor, that's what she uses that money for. You donate $1,000, $500, whatever it is, she puts it towards partial scholarships for the campers. So reach out to Peggy Boland if you need a partial scholarship or interested in being a sponsor and donating some money for more scholarships. Reach out to Peggy Boland by phone at 575-420-9955. Again, that's 575-420-9955. Or you can email her, pboland2016@gmail.com, PBOHLIN 2016@gmail.com. So there you go. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. We're going to have her in on the show more times between now and then, talk about Camp Invention. But if you don't know anything about it, great opportunity for kids, especially in the world that we live in with COVID and some of their education missed or slipped through because of that. They can make up some of that right here through Camp Invention. All right, it is time for Town Hall News. We'll be back.
Hugh Hewitt is now in Roswell on 106.5 FM KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Fierce battles continue to rage just outside of Ukraine's capital on this day 14 of Vladimir Putin's invasion. The BBC's James Waterhouse says it is quiet in the center of Kiev.
You just have to drive a few miles west and there is heavy mortar fire, missile fire as well. And we've heard from people there who have been trapped in their homes or bomb shelters for 24 to 36 hours with no food, water, or light.
Ukraine says a Russian air raid on the northeast city of Sumy has killed 22 civilians, including 3 children. Russia has released a list of cities it says are part of a newly announced humanitarian ceasefire, giving civilians a chance to evacuate. Aid for Ukraine is part of a $1.5 trillion stopgap spending bill agreed to by congressional negotiators.
The legislation includes what Democrats have lauded as the biggest increase to non-defense discretionary spending in 4 years. The GOP also touted a $42 billion increase for defense spending in the package, saying the deal achieves dollar-for-dollar parity for defense and non-defense increases. The bill will also include about $14 billion in emergency funding to boost humanitarian, security, and economic assistance for Ukraine and Central European allies amid the Russian invasion, in addition to over $15 billion for COVID-19 supplemental funding, offset by a rescission of previously appropriated funds. In Washington, I'm Bernie Bennett.
President Biden has announced an end of U.S. imports of Russian oil, but there are no plans for a corresponding increase in domestic oil production, something that Republicans argue is needed for the U.S. to once again achieve energy independence. And with the Russian supply line being cut, the president warns of even higher gas prices, which are already at record highs around the country. Wall Street, the Dow's up 548 points. NASDAQ ahead 297 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hi, I'm cute kid number 1. And I'm cute kid number 2. And we have been forced, you mean hired? We have been hired to tell you what direct lender FOMO is. So let's say you buy a new home, and maybe you use one of those big mortgage monsters.
Or someone your realtor or friend recommends.
And then a few months later, you hear us being forced, hired
to tell you about our mortgage team's direct lender advantage.
And then you feel like you missed out.
Because you probably did miss out.
And that is direct lender FOMO.
It's Ryan, and our mortgage team is an arm of a bigger company who is a direct lender, which means our company gets to use its own money and make its own decisions within its own walls. There's no middleman. This often allows us to get you a better rate on that new home mortgage, saving you monthly and lifelong money. We are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Melville Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage banker. For all licensing information, go to NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Ryan Breck, NMLS number 65233. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Massachusetts, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
The UN warns that 12 million Syrians are facing serious food shortages, with 90% of the country's population living in poverty.
In Syria, the conflict grinds on. The UN reports continued bombardment in the conflict zone in the north, as well as targeted killings and torture. The economic crisis has led to violence for monetary gain too. Hostage-taking, seizure of property and crops by both Syrian forces and other armed groups. The report warns that half of all Syrians remain displaced. 12 million face daily food shortages. Now a drought is adding to food insecurity.
The BBC's Imogen Folks. Israeli President Isaac Herzog is in Turkey today, the first Israeli leader to visit in 14 years, as the two countries move to turn a new page in their stormy relationship. News and analysis at townhall.com. Power companies raked in $561 million in late fees in 2019.
But how much you pay depends on where you live. An AP analysis of federal regulatory data found that several major utility companies in states like Louisiana, Mississippi, Kentucky, Florida, and Maryland are charging late fees that are much higher than the national average. Late fees typically punish customers who are at least able to afford their utility bills to begin with. The fees account for a small part of major energy companies' overall revenue, but for the people who must pay them, they can be a crushing burden. John Scott reporting.
Opening statements being delivered today in Grand Rapids in the trial of 4 men accused of plotting to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer back in 2020. The Wall Street rally continues. Dow up 634 points. The NASDAQ ahead 352 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. Leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Wednesday.
Yep. Halfway day and welcome to it.
Yeah. It's sunny, warm. Little do you know, by Friday it's going to be in the 40s and snow chances.
Yep. One last little hurrah.
Yeah.
Winter's last go round.
I'm being kind. Friday's high is 38. It's not even getting to 40. Sorry about that.
I'm keeping the jacket out.
But today it's going to be 67 and sunny. So
I'll tell you this. If you want to be, nice and toasty this Friday, dress like a trucker.
Yeah.
Apparently that's the way to be. Out of nowhere this morning, and really relevant.
Oh, you're still talking about
that?
No,
I was thinking about it just now. I was like, do I kind of look, trucker adjacent? No, just this morning before we went on, Roy comes in. He said, you look like a trucker. And just out of nowhere, I'm like, all right.
I feel like you need more flannel.
Maybe. I think maybe the stripe combination with the jacket and the hat.
Be honest, that's not a trucker-style hat.
It's not a trucker hat.
You need a trucker-style hat to pull
the fat ones with the string across it, which I never understood the string.
And there's one key ingredient missing on that hat that a trucker hat has. The mesh.
Yeah, the mesh back.
The mesh. That's a full cloth cap.
Well, this is what they call a dad hat.
What's it say on it?
It's Del Norte.
Yeah.
Repping for the Del Norte Dragons.
I think it's a fine hat.
Yeah. Well, no, so
it matches your jacket perfectly.
Thank you. I try to color coordinate. Are you familiar with the different styles of hats? I mean, have you studied your haberdashery?
I don't know if I would be called an expert, but I'm aware of different styles of hat.
The dad
design.
hat. The dad hat is basically a bent brim.
Yeah,
but a comfortably bent brim.
Well,
then there's the ones that you see around that are just the flat brim.
Oh, that annoys me so much.
I hate it.
I do too.
Hate it. My brother does it.
A lot of people do it.
Stand
to me, it looks like you don't know how to wear a hat. It looks like it's kind of like the first time you buy like a shirt or something and you just don't button the collar up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you're, especially when there was that fad for a bit where they leave the tag on it too.
Yeah.
Where they
no, that's not even a fad, dude. That's still the thing.
What is that about?
Still the thing.
Is it they're afraid they're gonna return the hat? What is going on? Like, don't mess it up. I'm gonna return this.
Hey, keep it tight.
I know this lid cost me $30.
I'm gonna take this back.
Yeah.
No, really, it's a flex. It's all just for clout or whatever the kids say these days.
I don't know how having the tag still on it makes it,
because it shows, I guess, that you're wearing the official. I don't know. I really don't understand.
I don't care about
the
pulling.
concept.
I'm too cool to pull the tags off.
Here's
What's
the thing: if I do that today,
Yeah.
I look like Malibu's Most Wanted.
Yeah.
That's why I choose to not to.
Well,
that's why I just bend my brim. And my brother's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm making my hat look like a hat."
Yeah. I see. To me, I want a bigger bend.
Yeah. Well, oh no. See, okay. Then there's the guys that you always see that walk around like this. That drives me nuts.
Okay. All right.
Oh, hang on.
This is my move right
Kick
here.
him on. Kick him on. Here.
This is my move right here. All right. I go. This is what I do to hats, and you're gonna think I'm a savage.
Well,
this is
I was
what
wondering.
I do.
So I only said that trucker thing because literally just because of the hat and the jacket.
Right.
When I get a new hat, I do this to it.
Oh, see, I've seen people that do that.
That's what I do to it.
That drives me nuts, though, because it's too much bend.
It comes back.
But what's the functionality of it? I've seen the guys that walk around with the ones that are actually like bent down like that.
I don't go that far.
What's the functionality?
I think for most of those people, it's just that hat started like this. They've been wearing it for 100 years,
and they just wore it down.
And usually those people, they just fear change and don't want new hats.
Because every time they get mad, they're and they just work their brim.
But I've been doing this my whole life.
And
I folded it into the Velcro strap.
That little,
for the listeners on the radio.
Yeah, I mean a rubber band will do the same thing, but this is
right. When I get we should clarify. Good point, Ray. For context, folding the brim into the back of the hat to where it bends the brim down. KSVPTV.com if you want to see. But
it's not that exciting.
Hey, for up to the minute coverage of the hat, stay tuned.
Do you want to see what I did? Yeah. Magic man, I'm hiding it from you.
But my move is, as soon as I get a hat, I'll just take the hands and just bend it down good once to get this.
Yeah.
And that seems to be perfect. It's the width of my head, so it's the right bend.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we can do that. Okay. I just got a text from Superintendent Brad. They've got he's not available. He's got some business to handle here today. So we're going to reschedule and get him back on. So what we'll do, Roy, we'll play our Healthy Kids Chaffetz County interview in its place. We had
look at you.
The ladies from Healthy Kids Chaffetz County, Paula Camp and Becky Joyce. And we also had Shelley Montgomery, who runs food services over in the Dexter schools.
Yes.
And we had a great conversation with them. So we'll play that in its place here. And then we'll get Brian Luck rescheduled here for when he's available, either later this week or next.
Yep.
So good deal. Back to the hats, though.
So what's the difference? What's the difference between the trucker hat and that hat you're wearing?
Trucker hat. See this right here?
Do you have one?
I have similar.
Okay.
This one's trucker style.
That's trucker adjacent, yes.
Yeah, trucker adjacent.
It's got the mesh back.
It needs this.
Oh, okay.
But
it's missing some of the flatness that has to happen here.
Well, it's a puffy front. If you ever see the ones that are like the poofy front, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They're like big.
See how it rounds here? Trucker hats don't. They've got a more sharper turn than the rounded. It's more, like he said, poofy. It kind of, it's almost like, not quite. Have you ever seen a Marine Corps hat? You know, the camouflage where theirs has got a little more poof to it. It's not that extreme, but it's kind of.
Oh, that, yeah.
Yeah. Whereas like a BDU cap.
Where it's like a square hat kind of.
Yeah. But yeah, see, I won't wear my brim.
I'm
like
gonna
that.
find a picture.
That will make me angry if I see someone doing that.
I hate flat brims like that too.
Yeah.
It's so annoying.
This is a pretty good example of what a trucker hat looks like, and I'm bringing it up to.
I figured
show,
it had needs to like the holes in the back.
The poofy front, the mesh back.
Yeah.
The thing on the top, the little. That thing on
And
the
the
top,
real legit ones
usually different colors.
almost feel cardboardy like. Like they don't like these feel cloth like. Those almost feel like they came out of a cereal box prize. That makes sense.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Well, it makes it seem kind of cheap too, with the mesh thing.
Well, that's why in the 80s we thought they were cheap. And then
Right.
somewhere in the 90s, I don't know when.
It wasn't the 90s. It was the early 2000s.
Was it? I thought it was more 90s.
It was. It really took off when Ashton Kutcher started doing.
Maybe that's what it. When they started wearing them, then there was a hot
He brought
minute.
that look back. It was real like a dirty like
in Punk'd, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. His look in Punk became like the style for like a quick minute between like
Kid Rock
2002 to like 2005, I would call it.
Yeah, you're kind of Kid
With the
Rock
long hair,
type
too.
Would be into the trucker hats and
a lot of pop punk.
What was
Avril Lavigne?
There's a documentary on Hulu right now for a product clothing line, Von Dyke or
Von Dutch?
Von Dutch.
Yeah.
Trucker
I haven't
Hat
seen-
City right
Oh,
there.
absolutely. The Von Dutch revolution of the 2000s is
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah.
Because we got real unkempt for a quick minute, and I kind of dug that look.
Yeah.
I kind of hope that look has its renaissance. You know.
Yeah, although I think there was like that story. There's like a whole murder story behind the Von Dutch thing or something.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's a Hulu documentary.
It's got to be dark. I'm
Yeah,
sure
I
it is.
started to watch it, and then I got sidetracked.
Which completely off topic, and I know you got to run the interview, but eventually I do want to bring up that Music Box documentary, which is
I want to check that out.
absolutely amazing. It's a great documentary over on I think it's on HBO Max.
See,
Yeah, definitely check it out. But
well, now it's really
it'll come back some.
yeah, it'll snap back.
It'll snap
now it
back
just looks sad.
That's the way I like.
Well, I'm just wondering
Of course,
what
it's too
about
small
a
right
trucker
now. I got it.
lifestyle makes you needs the mesh in the back of the head.
Nothing. It's just the way it is. It's like lumberjack look. People like to look like that, but they don't know anything about cutting wood or driving a truck.
I would say this. Okay, so you're spending 16 hours in a truck.
Like, does the back of your head sweat or?
Yeah, have you ever driven with a hat on? You get, your head gets sweaty. You need a little ventilation. You need a little airflow.
Problem is when you're out in the sun and you're bald, now you got grill marks on your head when the sun goes through. Look like someone cooked waffles on your head. All right, it is 8:15. Let's get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. It looks pretty good for the next couple of days, but we do have a low pressure system that'll be rolling in on Thursday night and Friday. That may bring us a few showers. In the meantime, sunny and breezy today. We're looking at upper 60s for the afternoon high, down to about 30 and clear for the overnight hours, and then mid 60s and sunny on Thursday. Scattered showers coming up for Friday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, forgot to go get my weather. My apologies. Let me even refresh it. Yeah, there we go. Currently 32 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity also at 32%. Winds currently out of the northeast at 3 miles per hour. 67 and sunny today. That's not so bad. South winds early 5 to 10, but getting a little breezy out of the south later today, 15 to 20 miles per hour. Mostly clear tonight with an overnight low of 29 degrees and southwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday's going to be a tale. During the day, not so bad. Sunny, 65, east winds 10 to 15 early, then southwest 15 to 20 for the afternoon. And then tomorrow night, we're looking at a 20% chance of snow after 11 p.m. We're going to see increasing clouds with an overnight low of 25. They use the term blustery with southwest winds 10 to 15 early, increasing 20 to 25, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour later tomorrow night. Friday, much cooler. Snow likely as well. They're talking a 60% chance of snow before 11 a.m. Mostly cloudy for the day, then gradually clearing with a high of only 38 Friday and north winds 15 to 20 miles per hour. Friday night, clear skies, overnight low of 19. And then warming up for the weekend. Snow, if whatever sticks, won't be sticking long. because we're going to be sunny and 64 on Saturday, and then into the low 70s on Sunday, 73 on Sunday. So, yeah, we're going to get snow Thursday night, Friday, and then by Sunday we'll be back in the 70s again. So that's New Mexico in a nutshell right there. All right, it is 18 minutes after 8 o'clock. We're going to take a 2.5-minute commercial break, and then we're going to play that interview with Healthy Kids Chavez County on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Have you been dealing with stress or anxiety lately? Don't let that stop you from getting the dental work done that you know needs to happen. Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher with Carabelli Dental, and every day we help people just like you have a relaxing and pain-free experience with IV sedation. Just imagine a dental experience where you don't remember the needles or the drills. If that's what you're looking for, we can help. Let us ease your stress and create the best dental experience ever.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main or call 622-4455.
The ultimate Wi-Fi experience is now available to you thanks to Smart Home Wi-Fi with Plateau. Get fiber-to-home technology 100 times faster than the average household internet speed. Plateau has multiple plans to fit your family. With Fast, get true 100 megs per second upload and download speed. With Faster, get true 500 meg. And with Fastest, get 16 gigs of download and upload speeds. Learn more at plateaufiber.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
If you're a person who has more to do than you have hours in your day, and everything seems to take priority over your own health, then you're going to love the Loveless MyChart Secure Patient Portal. You can message your doctor, make an appointment, or view lab results anytime, day or night, on your computer or smartphone. Print a list of your medications at the click of a mouse, or even compare previous tests to map your health progress. Loveless MyChart connects you to better health, anywhere, anytime.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too, and that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. But our part-time service in the Army National Guard means we get to be more. When our communities are in need, we get the chance to stand up and do something about it. We get to serve in our own region and help the people we call neighbors. Whether they are in the mountains of New Mexico, the plains of Nebraska and Kansas, the ranches of Oklahoma and Texas, the farmlands of Missouri and Arkansas, or the bayous of Louisiana, we are here for our hometowns. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard. Aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. More than 50% of Americans fall asleep on their sides. That's way better than falling asleep on someone else's side. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Healthy Kids Chavez County, Paula Camp and Becky Joyce are back with us. And back from Dexter School, Shelley Montgomery as well. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
How are you doing with school and everything now? You ready for a break? I mean, I imagine spring break's around the corner.
It's around the corner. We're just glad to be back in school.
This is true, but I know regardless whether school's in session or in a classroom or in a home or wherever it was, you and your staff are going gangbusters, trying to feed everybody in Dexter and beyond. We say Dexter, but it was kind of, especially during the hairier times of the COVID thing.
Right.
It was more than just Dexter you guys were taking care of.
Yeah,
So.
they helped each other out, which was great.
Absolutely. So I don't know if you're rested from that and ready to, it's probably nice to actually do menus in a cafeteria again, like the way, cooking in the stoves and things that and you're serving to kids.
And not in a sack lunch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
We're going to get into that a little bit, speaking of menus in a little bit. So we're going to share a few things that's quite interesting.
Very good. Very good. For folks that aren't familiar, Healthy Kids Chavez County is part of the umbrella of the New Mexico Department of Health. And the rest pretty much kind of self-explained. Their goal and mission is providing opportunities and food and education for kids in Chavez County through the schools, through youth groups, through any means available to try to educate parents and families on on healthy eating and resources on how to execute all these things.
Yes.
That's kind of what you guys do.
That's what we do.
Yeah. So, in a nutshell.
Yes.
And encourage physical activity.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. And the other part, too,
yeah.
is going, not only eating healthy, but when you mess up, because we all mess up. I just had a whole conversation about cream cheese and roast beef paired together. That happens from time to time. So to fix that, go do some physical stuff.
Right.
And that kind of definitely. And it's good, even when you are eating healthy, to have the exercise. You actually start feeling better.
Absolutely.
I know it's hard to get up and do it, but once you do it, it's all right. You know what I mean?
You almost feel bad if you don't.
Right. And you feel so good afterwards. It's like, why am I not doing this every day?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think, well, you know what? And I know we're getting already off in a tangent, but we kind of aren't. I think we don't need to kill ourselves. I think everyone thinks when people when I'm going to start an exercise regime, I think by default we kick our butts too hard early. You know what I mean? We all right, we're going to go in there and get on the treadmill for a half hour, and then I'm going to, after that I'm going to lift some weights and all that. And you're like, yeah, okay, that's great if you've been working out for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But when you just roll up into it, it's like cooking. You've never cooked it before. You're not going to roll up and start cooking Thanksgiving dinner. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to do that. You're going to start off with some simple things.
Do it a little bit at a time.
Yeah, your exercise should be the same way. If you don't exercise regularly or do things, and then you go to the gym and wonder why you're about to die, that's what you got to build up to that. You got to, start by just taking a walk or doing things, and as you do it regularly, you're going to find that things get easier, and then you can up your game a little bit and say, you know what, I'm going to make that walk another block farther this time.
Yeah, baby steps.
Yeah, and that's really that's all there is to it. You don't have to kill it in one session. Right. And then when you find out it sucks and you don't do it again, that's I think that's what we do.
Well, and Paula and Becky are experts on teaching you how to make it fun.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they have, all the ideas that they spread with our school children.
Yeah, so I know a lot of what we're talking about here applies to the kids, but in all fairness, a lot of it doesn't. And really it starts with the home and the family.
For sure. You got to have good examples.
Yeah. If the parents aren't, I mean, we all love to do as I say, not as I do. I mean, we're all masters at it. Every single one of us. We like to, get in there and read your book, and you're in the other room with like, my show's on. You know what I mean? We all do that.
Right.
But so this time let's do it together. And I think and kids are also a barometer too, because the kids probably learn some things in school, learn about healthy eating, or learn about stuff that maybe even lunches they have at school. It's like, hey, why can't we cook that at home? And it kind of forces the parents to play ball a little bit too, which is a good thing.
Right.
So, good deal. So, talk about events, things, anything we want to make sure we first get on people's radar here. I know we're just talking generalities here, but is there anything we specifically program things that we want to kind of get on people's radar right now?
We are doing the Eat Smart to Play Hard program with 4th and 5th graders.
Okay.
We have 3 schools that are finishing up the program. It's a 4-week program where students take a booklet home that suggests a simple meal and a simple activity that they can do at home.
Okay.
And that's, like you were saying, we're trying to connect the home with what we teach the kids.
Sure.
So Sunset, Missouri Avenue, and Nancy Lopez are almost finished.
Okay.
Pecos started, I believe, last week or the week before.
Okay.
And they'll be finished pretty quick. And then we'll be going to the Valley, and we'll be doing it in Dexter, Hagerman, and Lake Arthur.
Okay. Is the goal to eventually try to get in all the elementary schools?
It would be great if we could. We added 2 schools this year.
Good.
So hopefully, if we did that, we could have everyone doing it.
And I imagine because it's all about money and funding and all that kind of stuff, and the proof will be in the pudding there, because I'm sure you're already seeing successes in those first schools that started the program. You're seeing that now in the new ones you're incorporating, and so logic would dictate they're saying this program works, let's invest more money, and now it's a commonplace. So I think we're closer to that goal, but the real trick is, when it is offered at your schools and things, make sure as families you
to do it,
participate in these
and
programs.
it is funded by the University of New Mexico. They have a grant. It's the Pediatric Research Center that champions the program.
Nice. Okay.
And they keep lots of data. They make sure that it is being effective.
They're doing all the science and
they're doing all the
work
science
behind
and the
it,
research, but the grant provides the materials and to train us to do the program. And then we go out and do the program with the kids.
Very nice.
Right, right.
Very cool.
And I think Shelley has some things to say. This is Nutrition Month.
Yes.
March is National Nutrition Month.
So we use as a reminder to say, hey, try to find healthy options and look for foods, even though, ice cream tastes good, but we can find some options that work with it, right?
For sure.
She's doing some great things in Dexter.
Yes, we just wanted to use this month as sort of a reminder. I know we're missing a whole week of school because of spring break, but we're doing a few things. We're going to do a taste testing in one of the elementary classes, Mrs. Amaro's class, and we're going to taste test different kinds of citrus fruits and, and do some comparisons, maybe even some blindfold testing. I haven't quite decided how we're going to do it, but that'll be fun. And the kids will get some citrus fruits maybe that they haven't had before. We're going to do several kinds, maybe some blood oranges.
Some more tropical ones.
Yes,
things.
a few things like that. We're also going to do a sampling with the middle school, and what we're going to sample is some hummus, and we're going to do a traditional hummus. I think that's my favorite.
Okay.
And we're going to sample it with maybe some different kinds of vegetables to show that there's other things to eat besides chips.
Sure.
We're making a few posters to put around, and one of them we just wanted to show students that a regular sized bottle of Coca-Cola has 16 teaspoons of sugar.
Oh yeah, it's those things are. I think if most people just made that switch, they're going to see their health measurably go up. Just that one simple change alone from laying off the leaded sodas or switching to a diet at least, or a zero sugar, that you'll see a change in that, some of that stuff.
Yes, and try to talk about what empty calories are.
Yeah.
You can have sugar and some other stuff, but maybe it has the vitamins and minerals and things that you need. So that's a few of the things, that we're going to do, and some Facebook posts, things like that, just to maybe get it rolling for the summer.
I think we should do an adult, like you're talking about the tropical fruit, the samplings and some of that. I think we should have an adult version, but for like all those fruits at the store we've heard of but never really tried, like jackfruit.
Yes.
Like you always see that, like they're from wherever, where the Philippines or South Africa, wherever some of these fruits come from, and you always see them, and you're like, all right, like you see them in a lot of juices and things, and you're like, all right, what's a jackfruit really taste like, or what's I'm trying to think there's another one out there that they use a lot.
I know, Shelley, you did one last year, that little
Yes.
furry looking.
There's a program that schools can apply for that's called the Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Program.
Okay.
And that's actually what they encourage is to try some of those fruits that, you may not even see them anywhere. Yes. And one of the ones that we tried was called a rambutan.
Okay.
And it kind of looked like a little hairy ball of a thing, but when you cut it open,
y'all are brave.
Yes,
that's one of my rules.
The kids loved
my fruit should not have hair.
That's exactly what it looked like too, like something out of the ocean, even maybe. But
a crustacean.
Yes. But when you opened it, it was just a little white fruit in the middle, very sweet. The kids enjoyed it.
Yeah. It's just kind of funny to look at.
Scary to look at.
And you mentioned like you said, seafood and crustacean, and it's really the same mindset a little bit, because let's face it, seafood's delicious and pretty healthy for the most part. As far as the protein goes, pretty much any seafood. Now we start adding butter and all the other nonsense, and it's a little different. But as a protein, fish, crab, shrimp, all those are excellent sources of protein and not loaded in the cholesterols and all the things that are not good for us.
Yes.
But I ain't gonna lie, you look at an oyster or something and you're like, how hungry was that guy to eat that the first time? You know what I mean? Or a crab walking around, you're like, delicious. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so you got to get out of your comfort. So something like this, and you're like, all right, that's a furry piece of fruit.
Or kiwi.
I would never touch that in the world.
Yeah. Funky looking.
Sure.
Yeah.
But now you get to try them in a place, and you know what? You eat it, and you're like, oh, that's gross. I'll never eat that again. But you're like, you know what? That tasted good. I'm going to try that in some other things. I would have never done that because it looks weird. But now that I've had it, I'm like, you know what? That's actually pretty good. And some, like
artichokes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, artichokes.
Right.
Are delicious.
Yeah. They are.
But man, are they a pain to look at and everything. You're just They look like the most, like they don't want you to eat it. Like
They don't look
artichokes are built
appealing.
to, like we're defending ourselves up so you don't eat us, you know. But it really is pretty
Leave
good.
us alone.
Yeah, they kind of, you know, it's kind of God's nature there. Maybe that's what with some of these fruits and the fur on it. They're like, hey, we make ourselves look ugly. We don't get eaten as much.
It was certainly the talk of the school for a few days because they were not pretty.
But I imagine you had it and everyone's like it and you're like, oh, I bet this would be good with. And that's what usually happens is they try them and like, okay, I bet if you paired this with this item, it would be very good. And so, but that's really healthy eating in a nutshell. I mean, it's getting kids and adults nowadays to try things that are out of
Just try
different.
it.
And let's face it, we live in a world that's smaller. So like when we were kids growing up, there's so many foods that are really easily accessible to people that weren't accessible to us 20, 30 years. Like jackfruit, some of these fruits we're talking about.
Right.
There's no way they could have got that to us in a fresh, you know, consistency without. Now, you know, the world's changed a little bit, and they're able to, you know, with freezing and with shipping and all that, they're a little bit faster about that stuff.
Well,
so.
and farmers have, you know, put things together. Like at Graves, I think they have a honeylope.
Yes.
That was, you know,
Okay, so it's like a crossbreed of a cantaloupe and a honeydew kind
exactly.
of thing?
And the kids love it.
Okay.
And it
So
is
that's
sweeter than sugar.
Is it?
Oh,
What color
it is
is it, out of
delicious.
curiosity?
It looks more like a cantaloupe.
Oh, so it's more the orangey color.
Yes.
Okay. But it's got,
But it's good.
Because I'm one of those people that I do not like cantaloupe, but I do like honeydew.
Okay.
You would probably like it.
Yeah.
Try
So
it.
I'm wondering how that's going to be there. You
It's
know?
got a little milder on the cantaloupe flavor and a little sweeter from the
honeydew. Okay.
honeydew.
And that's maybe why I like the sweetness because I'm not a big fruit. We've had these discussions. I eat watermelon, pineapple,
strawberry,
honeydew. I don't like strawberries.
No,
no strawberries.
And like apples, I don't like apples. But of course, you put it in a pie or something, and I'm down. But
a caramel dip.
yeah, exactly. Although no, it would. It has to be cooked. Like raw apple is gross.
Oh, I see.
But if it's cooked in a pie or cooked in a cobbler or something, then I'm okay with it.
I would be the opposite. I like the crunch.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
And I've tried really hard. Like I'm like, what am I missing here? And I take a big old bite. Like and maybe as I'm an adult now, and then I bite them. Nope, still don't like it.
Nope.
I've really tried with a couple of these. Tomatoes is another one I don't like. That. I mean, I like cooked tomatoes and chili, but you caught a raw tomato and put it on a sandwich or something. I'm picky like that. I'm weird like that.
You know, Shelley and Kim Meeks in Roswell with our Roswell schools, you know, they work so hard with so many regulations that are put upon them to serve our kids. But they work so hard to make it good and you know, not everything's available right now. I know Shelley,
that is true.
How is that? I'm curious because we see that in the private world and we go to get grocery stores and you see the shelves missing things. But as far as like supplies delivered to the schools and things, is it the same deal? Where
it's a major problem.
What's some of the items that are really short right now, like you guys haven't seen in a while or haven't seen much of in a while?
Well,
Just curious.
One of the things is one of the major manufacturers of cereal.
Okay.
So keep in mind for school nutrition, we have to have a lower sugar, lower fat, lower salt. And so the manufacturers, they manufacture a cereal bowl, and you can get them in 1 ounce, which meets a 1 grain, or 2 ounce that meets a 2 grain. But back in December, they quit manufacturing those.
Oh.
And there was several reasons: lack of workers, lack of truck drivers, you know, no ways to get it out.
Sure.
The manufacturers that we used, thank goodness, had a lot in their storage already.
Okay.
And so we didn't have to until about the last month. You know, you might order 10 cases and you got 2.
Gotcha.
And so we had to start switching around and seeing what other, you know, kind of whole grain, low fat, low salt, low sugar cereal we could get for the kids. And
that kids would actually enjoy.
Exactly
That's
right.
the other trick, too. You know, it's like, we'll just give them Wheaties. We're like, how many kids are going to eat that? You know what I mean? So-
But they work endless hours trying to figure out these menus. And,
Sure.
I mean, they just need a real good pat on the back.
Yes, they do, because they do a great job.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. Our and I don't care what school district, whether it's Roswell or Dexter or Hagerman,
Everybody makes the same
Artesia,
boat.
all of them are all
Yes.
trying to do the same thing. And I imagine working together in many aspects here. And yeah, I'm sure you're talking with the Roswell folks here on,
Of
you know,
course.
especially during when COVID was going on and where everything's done remotely. And it's like, hey, we got some, you know, I'm sure there was Dexter folks that were serving Roswell kids and vice versa.
Of course.
During that time here, you know, that's
Well, and manufacturers like General Mills. Is that I'm not supposed to say that. Oops. Anyway, manufacturers, erase that thought from your mind. But the manufacturers, they produce certain things for cafeterias that meet those requirements.
Got you.
K-12.
And they don't
But
make...
they're different than what they would put on a grocery store.
Exactly.
Got you.
They make more money from the grocery store products than they do from the school products.
Gotcha.
So that's another reason they're focusing on
the
they're
a
products
company at the end of the day. They're not a charity,
Exactly. So then that makes them run short as well.
Yes, and they've had terrible time, with truck drivers just getting people to deliver it. And with their workers, all the manufacturers are telling me we don't have workers. And I know during the pandemic, one of the places that I order from did not have truck drivers to bring up the product from San Antonio to Lubbock. And their big guys themselves went down to San Antonio and drove those trucks that we could get food.
That's great.
Wow. You appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Because what's worse than having the food but can't get it to nobody.
Right.
Because now
it's going to run.
Right.
Exactly. It's perishable items here.
Yes.
It's so great to see they said, you know what, we got to get it here and come hell or high water, we're going to make that happen. So unfortunately, there's probably a lot of that going on and more of that going on. And we need to get to that point in the world, hopefully, where we're catching up to some of that stuff. And hopefully, I'm not trying to get political here, but maybe with the lessening of COVID restrictions and things, and maybe that we'll start to see us play catch up a little bit on some of this stuff.
We're hoping. I know this cereal company has started reproducing those cereals for us this last week. They've started, so it'll take a couple of months, for that to trickle down. And it wasn't just cereal, it was a lot of the breakfast items because they have a different recipe, a different formula.
Gotcha.
That they, trickled off making those a little bit. And you might order 10 cases and you get 2, or you might order frozen broccoli and you get fresh, or vice versa. So it's been a little tricky to.
How does that work with menu planning and things? I mean,
exactly.
Exactly.
I'm kind of, and I know this is a little how the sausage is made, but I'm kind of just gee whiz curious. So like how far in advance do you guys plan? Like, do you plan like a whole school lunch menu years worth in advance, that far ahead?
I'm planning.
So like in March of next year, you're going to be doing pizza on the 17th or whatever it is?
Yes.
Okay.
We've just ordered commodities. We just finished ordering all the commodities for next school year.
Okay.
So we've got all of those center of the plate, the most expensive items pre-ordered. They're already ordered, and those pounds
and
are
the
set aside.
non-perishable stuff, obviously. Some of it,
You can order that as you need it.
Yeah, sure.
But we make the whole menu the year ahead so that we know what we're going to feed the kids, because we have to meet those regulations.
Gotcha.
The minimum on, calories, fats, sodium, all of those things. We have to prepare that menu the year ahead.
Sure.
And to make sure that it's going to work, and what food items go together so that we don't go over our regulation or under. Sometimes it happens.
Sure.
So we
and
gotta hit it.
I would imagine, too, it's very stringent. It's not like cooking at home. Because like when you're at home cooking and you're making spaghetti or something, but even just say you're making spaghetti or something, and I cook like this, and I'm sure other people do. You're like, you know what? I'm going to throw some of this sage in here for the heck of it. You know what I mean? Because you can't do that.
Nope.
And because obviously not just the dietary side, but even allergies and things. Because in theory, these kids have to know exactly the ingredients in there in case there's allergies and any of that kind of stuff. So you can't just on a whim be like, what make this really good? Mushrooms.
Well, and not only that, we have other things besides allergies. We have kids maybe with diabetes and those kind of things. So we have to cook a consistent menu. So when the nurse calls and says, how many carbs are in the spaghetti, or how many carbs are in this meal or that meal, we have those answers, and we don't have to stop and think, well, what did we cook? How did we cook it? So we have those recipes.
I'm kind of curious, too, and this is another just gee whiz kind of thing. In the world we live in now, more people make, choices in their eating and their styles and things. You got people that are, going towards vegetarian lifestyles, things like that. Do you see that in the schools where kids, like some of a portion of the kids are under vegetarians and they have to do menus accordingly? Do you see that kind of stuff at the elementary school level, or is that something you see later in
Not so much in Dexter. We're very fortunate in Dexter. We have a lot of mamas that like to cook.
Okay.
And so they like most everything. We don't have too much trouble in Dexter with that.
Gotcha.
But there are options, that we can do that, are meatless or,
Sure.
We make salads for the high school.
I just didn't know if that was something that they incorporate in programs our way. It's like you got kids that come in. I would imagine with high schools and some of the older kids, that's a little bit more in place, but I didn't know with the elementary if that was the case. Because, I mean, let's face it, if you got a family and they're vegetarian or vegan, and when they come to school, they don't want to give their kid a cheeseburger, obviously.
Exactly.
So.
And we're lucky that Shelley and I think also in Roswell, they have the salad option. It used to, we had a salad bar where the kids could fill their own.
Sure, yeah.
Because of COVID, they had to stop
Yeah,
that.
I didn't like
but
that.
they do have that option where the servers, they tell them what they want on their salad.
So still a salad bar, but you don't.
Right.
But it's one person doing all the serving.
Right,
Gotcha.
right.
Okay.
We're hoping to get back to salad bars next year. We're hoping.
But that's a nice, really great
But I even
Uh-huh.
I would even say that the salad bar is much more effective than handing out prepackaged salads because.
Oh, yeah.
Personal.
I think a kid likes the idea of walking through and be like, yeah, give me that, don't give me
Yes.
that, give me
Yes,
that.
they sure do.
Exactly.
You know, and I mean, adults like that. How many times do we go to the buffet salivate and it's like, ooh, look, I get that. Same thing, except it's
Right.
a salad bar, you know? All of it's pretty healthy. You know, that's great. Yeah, unless you put a gallon of dressing on it, but that's.
Well, there is that.
there is that. But at school, it's fat free.
Good.
Right.
So it's,
Right.
so it's less damaging, but even still, a gallon of fat-free dressing is better.
Right.
Is not as good as just less of dressing. So
Exactly.
We're finding different ways to create that flavor.
Right.
That's what you guys do. And
Right.
you
And
know.
recipe-wise, Shelley sent home recipes this year.
We had a science night at the middle school, and so
Okay.
we took that opportunity, put up a little poster, and handed out some healthy pasta salads, and had some takers on that.
Good.
So that was a fun way.
I think adults should, because we're always looking for new things to prep, and take it from the kids. You know,
Absolutely.
you get these recipes from them. It's like, hey, next thing you know, you got a family recipe for pasta salad for dinner one night, or a taco salad, or something. You know,
And it was really easy, and the ICANN people supplied those recipes, and they're super easy recipes that you could do at home and tasty.
Good deal.
Not a lot of ingredients. You know, just a few ingredients, 4 or 5, that you would probably have on hand.
Okay.
Which
And,
is
Paula's posted a lot of those on our Facebook page.
Yes.
Good deal.
and in
through
our
our-
newsletter.
Right.
Okay, very
that
good.
we do.
You know, one other thing I just want to mention real quick while we're kind of talking about this, and it kind of fits the subject we're talking about here, is like supply and demand. Like you said, it's tricky. You go to the grocery stores, you see a lot of things. Well, you know where you can make up with some of that stuff? Locally.
Yes.
We Grace Farms and all our other different farms and things. It's not a supply issue. They grow it right there. And as long as you're willing to go get it, it's right there and it's right here. So maybe some of those grocery store issues, certain produce and things, you'll find it at locally grown. And to be honest, it's probably better quality, better,
sure it is
healthier
to have
option
fresh.
for you. So,
Our farmer's market.
yeah, farmers market. So think
We
outside
have-
the box a little bit for when you're digging for things and you're saying, I haven't been able to get this in weeks. Well, you know what? Maybe you can, just not, the way you looked at it, and actually a better version of it sometimes.
Yes.
Right. And Shelley, Dexter and Roswell both apply for the New Mexico Grown grant and have received it in the past. And they certainly use every penny of that, mostly at Graves.
I use all of mine from Graves. They're right in my back door, so it's really
it
easy.
just makes sense too. Yeah,
It's right there.
Yeah.
And
I
we're
mean, it's
hoping
convenient.
It would be, we're hoping in the future that other districts will
Sure.
apply for that.
I think that's got to be the wave of the future. You know what I mean? We talk about, supply chains now. You're going to need that globally. It's just part of it. But I think we can do the ancillary, or we can supply and even surpass in some cases by doing all the farm to table style stuff in schools. I mean, shoot, we're in a huge agriculture industry with dairy and produce and the things that are grown here. Why should we be wanting? We got beef here, we got produce here, we got milk, all of it right in our own backyard.
And cheese.
Yeah, exactly. It's all right here in our backyard.
Yeah, it is.
Why should we be worrying about hunger around here? We shouldn't.
Well, and it's the truth. And the New Mexico Grown Grant, and I encourage all schools to apply for that because that actually benefits our school lunch program. and it provides those vegetables, and we get to spend that grant. And I think the hard part that people misunderstand, and it's where Becky and Paula can come in, is the state requires a little bit of education piece to go with it to teach the kids. And I think that's where people get hung up. But Becky and Paula have great ideas, and they'll even come out and help you execute those ideas.
Yes, we
and
will.
make it fun.
It's fun to teach it. I mean, it's cooking. It's food. It's all stuff that everybody loves. Everybody loves food. We all
Like the
love
tasting
food.
she's going to do, with the fourth graders, or the sampling in the cafeteria. Those are great ways to get kids to try things and to get some education in.
Getting that, one of the most memorable things in school. I mean, I remember a lot of stuff and learned a lot of good things. But like when I think back of classes and memories, home economics was I remember so much from the cooking, especially the cooking side. Because I was more into that than the sewing. I mean, I learned to sew and all that. And it's very handy, and I've used it many times. But to this day, learning in those kitchens and learning about how cooking works and all that stuff, I just think we need more of that in the schools. I know in the world we live in now, it's all about tests and STEM, and that's important.
Absolutely.
But you can't cause the other things to take a back seat from that. The life skills, home economics, and shop, and these things, physical education. These are skill sets that make a well-rounded individual. And I think maybe even some of our nutrition issues could be stemmed to lack of some of these programs advancing in schools and things like that. So that's a discussion for our legislators. But still, at the same time, let's bring as much of that into the schools as possible, because great, we got big brains filled with knowledge, but if they're only living to 55 because they eat, like 7-year-olds their whole life, then that's a problem.
And the legislature in New Mexico has been extremely supportive.
Yes.
With the New Mexico grown.
Yeah.
They have been great to support that and farm to school.
Yeah, and on another note, we encourage healthy fundraisers. Healthy instead of selling those
candy bars.
Right?
Those donuts and things.
Those donuts.
Donuts, yeah.
In fact, Dexter's having pretty soon an elementary dance that's going to be a fundraiser for some educational items for their school. But,
cool.
But the dance is active.
Absolutely.
And so,
Two birds with one stone.
Dexter's getting ready to do that. In Roswell, we've had numerous color runs. I know East Grand Plains is working on a jogathon.
Sure.
And then they, had the kids get pledges, and then so many rounds around the track, they, earn money for that school, for that fundraiser. So we try to encourage that, and we have wonderful PE teachers in all of our Chaves County schools that have walking programs, and it's just a way of life. It's kind of changed, and I know during the COVID we had more people walking our trails and using our facilities in our new aquatic center that we've ever had before.
Absolutely.
So I think it's eating healthy and physical education or some kind of activity is
absolutely for
a
folks,
new way of life.
For folks here in Roswell, obviously we're talking about the healthy eating and the food side of things. There's a lot of resources. Please reach out to the schools. Obviously, folks in Dexter, but that other part is, like you said, is go to RoswellConnect.com. That is all the recreation side to Roswell. If you want to get passes to the Aquatics and Recreation Center, if you want to be a part of the things at the zoo or the museums. I mean, those are more looking things, but that's physical and learning too, walking around the museums and doing all that, all incorporating some of that's all through there. So when you're done learning about good foods and eating healthy, use the Roswell Connect as an opportunity to find out what recreational activities are available here. Learn about the trails, the bike rentals, all the things that you can do over at the recreation center there.
Well, and we have Bitter Lake trails. And we have a trail around
the
Lake
BLM
Van.
area right there. I mean, there's all kinds of physical.
And Lake Van has a trail around
Lake Van.
They do. Yeah.
Maybe enter one of the Milkman Triathlons one year.
There you go.
Something like that.
There you go.
One year, we're about out of time, but our radio, we were sponsoring the Milkman one year, and we did our version called the Lazy Man Triathlon. So after they competed, they had to drink a thing of milk, sit in a chair for a minute, and there's something else equally lazy. I don't remember what it was.
We're going to do that this time.
We fed him milk. So. You say we had quite a few participants. I think they had to eat ice cream in like 30 seconds or something.
Gosh.
Yeah, the one in the cups of ice cream. But they had to do it like 30 seconds. Brain freeze. That's a real thing.
That is a real thing.
It's a hazard. But get involved in some of this stuff.
Sure.
That's part of the fun, and really, and create your own. I mean, that's the other thing too. If there's nothing the city's going on that you're into, fine, go out to the park and start a pickup frisbee game or
I even
whatever.
posted recently. We have a local dog training class, and they take walks down our trail with the dogs.
There you go.
And so, I mean, there's all sorts of different organizations that are getting out.
Go volunteer, like the Humane Society. They always are looking for dog walkers, and especially this time of year when the weather's nice before it gets too hot.
Right.
If you're helping out the Humane Society and getting a little physical activity for yourself too, so it's a win-win for everybody.
It is.
So,
It
things like that.
definitely is.
Look for them. They're there. Yeah,
That's right.
Absolutely. Well, like I said, we're about out of time. Is there anything we wanted to get? We just got. I started telling stories about. We skipped over.
We'll be starting gardens, and we'll talk more about that next month when we come. But Mrs. Amaro is going to have a herb garden
in Dexter.
Nice.
And getting that going. And she's a master gardener. She likes to garden, so we're excited about that.
Nice.
Lake Arthur's going to have a community garden. In Hagerman, we have Cody
Montez.
Okay.
She's the ag teacher, and she helps us with gardening. And then in Roswell, of course, Dr. Ryan has her carrots going and beets at Pecos. And then we have Nancy Lopez that does a lot of gardening, and that goes to the cafeteria.
Nice.
They do at Pecos. So we'll talk about that more.
Yeah, we'll do that.
But that's going to get started.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's the other thing. And by the way, if there's food you don't like, grow herbs. The herbs make things taste good. That's the secrets in the seasoning sometimes.
Yeah,
lower in salt.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, other than salt. Yeah, there's other ones.
Other than salt.
Yeah, other than salt. There's other seasonings out there other than salt.
Right.
They won't raise your blood pressure that quickly. And taste just as good. So, very good. And of course, you can, if you have any questions or want more information about anything we talked about, follow the Healthy Kids Chaves County Facebook page there too. There's always information and things going up and being posted there. Shelley, if anybody has any questions for Dexter Schools related things, is there a number or a website you probably could, is food service or anything?
They do have a Facebook, and if there's anything specific, they can always call the school and ask for my office. I'll be glad to help with whatever I can do.
And of course, if there's farms, things that are looking to partner with our schools here and wanting to do more, reach out. That's the key, is getting these in. We start these programs and things, which is great, but we need to invest more time, money, effort into those so that these programs become the norm in these things.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Maybe at some point we're talking 50% of the produce that kids eat in schools are coming from their own gardens and things. That'd be cool to say something like that at one point.
It would be fabulous.
Or coming from Gray's Farm or someone from right here in our own backyard. That would be beautiful.
That's right.
That's right.
Well, thank you, ladies. I'm sure you got many a fire to stomp out now, so we'll let you go do that. And
we're working on that milkman team for you.
there you go. There we go. And I imagine you got some lunch to get ready. So thank you, guys. I appreciate it. We'll see you next time. Okay.
All righty. Thank you.
All right. It is 8:56. Quick.
Fell 40, maybe even 50 feet down a well. Fire rescue operators determined they would need a long rope and made access to the patient by rappelling down the well. Amazingly, the patient was rescued and was taken by air ambulance to a hospital in Lubbock, Texas. The name of the patient was not released. As part of the City of Roswell street maintenance work, pavement maintenance operations called Hot Recycling and some associated prep work will take place on several Roswell streets over the next few weeks. The work will require some lanes of traffic to be closed at various times. The work will begin on Monday. It's expected to last through the end of this month, beginning with South Lee Avenue from Jaffa Street to West Hobbs, and then proceeding on Garden Avenue from East McGaffey to 2nd Street. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorella.
Celebrate spring break at the Spring River Zoo with one of their exciting day camps. Each day is a separate camp where children will enjoy animal-themed crafts and games, fun educational activities, a guided tour of the zoo, and amazing encounters with the animals for children aged 4 through 6. Events will take place March 14th and 15th from 8 a.m. till noon. For children aged 7 to 12, themed camps will take place March 16th, 17th, and 18th from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call the Spring River Zoo at 575-624-6750 or visit roswellconnect.org for information and to reserve your ticket.
Mays Lumber has all the hard-to-find hardwood you've been looking for. Oak, cherry, walnut, poplar, and maple. Plus, hard-to-find exotic woods like purple heart, zebra wood, ambrosia maple, black limba, and bloodwood. Perfect for that one-of-a-kind gift piece or table. Get ready with Formica and Wilson Art countertops in 12-footer custom length with installation available. Make it happen at Mays Lumber, 115 South Virginia in Roswell, serving southeastern New Mexico and beyond since 1934.
This is John.
Hey, my name is John Jackson.
He's not some actor. He's a steward of the land with a John Deere 3 Series tractor and a PTO Quick Connect that hooks up rear implements with a single click. John runs with us because to him, there's nothing more important than connecting with the land. Nothing runs like a Deere. Hear John's story at Deere.com.
Stop by Pecos Valley Equipment in Artesia and Roswell or visit us online at pecosvalleyequipment.com.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The ball on top of a flagpole is called a truck. Mess with your friends today by pointing at a flagpole and say, hey, check out the truck on top of that flagpole. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 8:59. Stay tuned next hour, about 9:15 or so. We're going to have Executive Director for the Roswell Chamber of Commerce, Andrea Moore, join us, give us an update on their upcoming events, including Rise Over Roswell. I saw an email late yesterday afternoon saying they're almost sold out for Rise Over Roswell, so we'll talk more about that next hour, see if they, in fact, do have some tickets left here this morning. And, of course, sponsorship opportunities. I think you can still get in on some of that as well. So we'll talk about that, other events going on through the Chamber of Commerce as well, all coming up next hour. Of course, if you missed any part, you can always go back at your leisure and check it out. We had the Chaves County and New Mexico Federated Republic of Women join us in the 7 o'clock hour. And Superintendent Brian Luck, they have something came up there at school, so he's unavailable, so we'll get him back on. So we played our Healthy Kids interview there, so if you're just tuning in. All right, it's 9 o'clock. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Along with the death, massive destruction, and growing humanitarian crisis, the Russian invasion of Ukraine now poses a potential nuclear threat. The decommissioned Chernobyl nuclear site has been knocked off the power grid, forcing a switch to backup generators. That's raising concern about the plant's ability to keep stored nuclear fuel safely cool, although the UN's nuclear watchdog says it sees no critical impact on safety. Ukraine's president, in a virtual address to the British Parliament, vows to never give up, to fight to the very end. And correspondent Charles De La Desma says the Ukrainians are fighting. They're putting up stiff resistance to the Russian invasion.
Russian troops have seen their advance slowed by fiercer than expected Ukrainian resistance, but they've laid siege to several cities, trapping civilians inside them with little or no food, water or medicine. Most efforts to establish safe evacuation routes out of several urban areas have failed, although Ukrainian authorities say Russia has agreed to a new day-long ceasefire along several evacuation routes. In an updated post on social media, Ukraine's Ministry of Defense says fighting northwest of Kiev remains ongoing, with Russian forces failing to make any significant breakthroughs.
Steadfastly refusing to consider an increase in domestic oil production, President Biden warns of even higher gas prices as he announces the U.S. is cutting all Russian oil imports.
President Biden's announcement of the ban came before European nations, which are more dependent on Russian energy. Russia supplies 40% of Europe's gas and a quarter of its oil. The U.S. does not import Russian natural gas, and Russia accounts for less than 10% of America's crude oil imports.
White House correspondent Greg Clugston, Poland's attempt to help bolster Ukrainian air power has been scuttled by the Pentagon. On Wall Street this hour, the Dow is up 660 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshares. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, well, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, founder and CEO of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And the process started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. Sounds crazy, right? Well, the crazy thing is, this never ends. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. I guarantee if we can't cancel your timeshare, you'll pay nothing.
Were you lied to when buying a timeshare and want out? Get the facts about timeshare cancellation. Call Wesley now for your free information kit. 800-691-9999. 800-691-9999. 800-691-9999.
New Zealand's parliament debating a law that would allow the assets of Russian oligarchs and businesses to be frozen.
New Zealand will, for the first time, impose sanctions independent of the United Nations. The Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern said she'd been forced to act because of the limitations of the multilateral system. New Zealand will be allowed to freeze Russian assets and stop individuals using its financial system as a backdoor to get around sanctions put in place by other countries. The Ardern government hopes global action will create a wall of resistance against Russian aggression in Ukraine.
The BBC's Phil Mercer. The number of new coronavirus cases and deaths globally have continued to fall in the past week. That according to the World Health Organization, which says only the Western Pacific is reporting an increase in COVID-19. News and analysis at townhall.com. U.S. wildlife officials reverse a previous finding that a widely used pesticide could potentially wipe out dozens of plants and animals.
The move comes after government officials received pledges from chemical manufacturers to change product labels for the pesticide malathion so that it's used more carefully by consumers. Officials had said last year malathion could threaten the continued existence of 78 imperiled species. They now say its use on crops and home gardens could cause limited harm to many species, but is unlikely to jeopardize them with extinction. The finding depends on farmers and gardeners abiding by labels with extensive instructions on where and when to use malathion. Keith Peters reporting.
Congressional leaders have agreed to a $13.6 billion aid package for Ukraine. This is part of a larger $1.5 trillion stopgap spending bill. Keep the government running through year's end. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres Inviernos.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to it.
Yep.
It's not as fun as saying Friday.
No,
it's
nothing
not
is.
Bad as saying Monday either.
That's true.
It's right in the middle.
Creamy middle. I like your logic.
The Goldilocks.
It's the best part of the Oreo.
You know, that reminds me. You know the Sonic commercials where they have all the different couples and immaculations of people sitting in cars,
right,
talking whatever their latest sandwich is or whatever. Well, they've got a group of these kids that remind me, quite frankly, of the cast of Letterkenny.
Okay.
That that are sitting there and are eating Oreo stuffed blizzards or ice cream cones or whatever, and they're talking about the stuff. And one of the Letterkenny kids, because that's what they look like to me. They look straight out of Letterkenny. I'm just waiting. Like they should be standing out front of the gym doing a dance routine. That's what they should be doing.
Oh, so they look like they look like the Burnouts. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Yes, the D-gens, if you will.
Yeah, the D-gens.
But,
Sturt.
I love Oreo Sturt. It's the stuff.
And I love that Andrea's watching now, so she's getting the references. That makes me happy.
But they're doing it, and he's talking about the teacher back in the day said don't use stuff in his paper is a bad word, but that's the only way to describe the stuff.
The stuff.
In the Oreo stuff. But, yeah, it's all I could think of is the letters.
Because they never say cream.
No.
They just say it's stuff. And if you look at it, it's double stuff, and then they have the most stuff. So what's in the stuff? I think that they're holding it. Nabisco's holding out on some info.
I think it's just a ton of sugar.
Well, yeah, but it's exactly it's Crisco and sugar. But
I don't think it's anything exciting, you know.
But I think they need to stop hiding behind the word stuff.
Well, what is it?
It's like stuff. Their stuff has become bifidus regularis, basically.
I don't know if cream is the right term because it's not cream. Cream is liquid.
Yeah, cream can be.
And creamy is an adjective, not a term. Would you like some creamy? You can't have that.
No. I just feel like the word stuff is too vague.
All right. Well, then you need to get in that car with those kids.
It's leaving us open for potential, attack later on. What if they change the stuff? How do we know what's in the stuff? Nabisco, we need answers.
I'm pretty sure the stuff's been changed.
I'm sure it's been changed.
Because if you eat the stuff in 1987 and you eat the stuff in 2020, I don't think the stuff's the same.
Actually, there's a fascinating documentary about this. No, it's literally been changed like 3 times in the past like 40 years, and the most recent time was because it's now kosher.
Yeah, that's the big one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess they don't use as many cows or something in the stuff. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, what was it before that it wasn't kosher? What was going on with it before? So now every Oreo is like individually blessed by a rabbi. They just have one guy at the end of the conveyor belt that he just does this.
Dominus Oreois.
That's what the symbol is on the Oreo. He actually puts it there.
All right, who's the guy that put the watermelon one in the double stuff one? All right, that guy needs to be in trouble.
Are those kosher?
I would think it would be.
Huh.
I think they're slipping on their flavor game.
Well, it's been a while. I haven't seen a good new flavor in a long time.
Well, here's the thing. The new flavors are kind of all a variation of themselves.
Right. They're like chocolate, caramel, whatever. Coffee adjacent, kind of.
So they're replacing chocolate with words like brownie. And you're like, it's the same stuff. I mean, the
fudge.
Taste is, the taste is slightly different, but it's pretty much the same.
What happened was they fired Terry over at R&D that was coming up with watermelon Oreos.
Yeah.
They're like, this guy needs to go.
Except he nailed it.
He did. I agree 100%.
Because when those came out, I was like, oh, you done screwed up now. Those are going to be god-awful, and they weren't.
Right.
They were... I mean,
and you know
don't get
what?
me wrong, I ain't eating them all day.
The manufacturing department was exhausted because they had to put everything they had into making a watermelon Oreo somewhat edible. So
maybe he went on to Cheez-Its or something. Because I know Cheez-Its is heavy.
He's over at the Sunbeam plant now.
Hydrox. Right? Why is there a watermelon Hydrox now?
Fun fact, Hydrox came before Oreo.
I know that.
Yeah, Hydrox was the original.
But who wants to eat something called Hydrox?
Well,
clean my shirts? Yes.
Right. It does.
Put
it does
my belly?
sound,
No.
It does sound like a fantastic cleaning agent. You're absolutely right. But
yeah. Hydrox 2 with bleach.
I always preferred hits.
Hydrox, take me away.
It does like connotate bubbles in my head.
When I hear Hydrox, I feel like there's a community somewhere in Wyoming that is all beholden to this factory that makes these cookies, and they're all possibly robots.
You're not far off. I think it's a group of sister wives.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Well, sister wives, and that's Arizona.
Yeah,
they moved to Arizona. Although they're all getting divorced now.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
And there might be a big love scenario.
Oh, that's gonna be a tough case. How many alimonies do you have to pay out?
Because Cody, I guess, has devolved. Don't ask how I know things.
No, I need to know. How much do you know about sister wives?
A lot more than I do.
I'm learning.
A lot more than I do.
I know very little about sister wives, so I know they exist because I've seen the commercials. Pretty much anything on TLC nowadays, I stay away from. I mean, I still have to go back for Little People, Big World because of my wife. She's obsessed with that show. And so they keep dusting it off every year. They bring out another 2-week special, and still divorced, still having kids, still doing their thing. Nothing's changed. Right.
Well, Facebook videos is really good to catch up on stuff that's going on with Sister Wives. I've never watched a full episode, but everything I know is because of Facebook videos.
Well, that guy's clearly creepy, right? If I'm thinking of the Sister Wives guy, he had. I think he had, 3 or 4? I don't know whether
4, and then he brought in a 5th one, right?
Okay.
No, they've got 4 wives, and the newest one is Robin, and that's his favorite wife.
Well,
of course.
And he divorced the first wife.
Oh, they divorced them?
So you can only be legally married to one person at a time.
Yeah, I got that part.
And so the first wife he was legally married to, but because his favorite wife is the last wife, he got a divorce from wife 1 and actually married wife 4.
Oh.
And then during COVID, he kind of ostracized wives 1, 2, and 3 and all of their kids and lived with wife 4.
But you've never watched an episode.
No, it's all because
I'm just sitting here just like, okay.
I'm caught up on the show.
I know intricate
midnight
details.
Facebook videos.
So the first wife didn't go away after the divorce?
No. Well, she is now, apparently.
It's a spinoff.
She's going back to Utah where all of her friends and family are because she's mad.
She's starting a new show called Brother Husbands.
Now, hey, I'm all in on Brother Husbands.
Now, originally
I want to sit at home and y'all go to work.
When the show started, there was 3 wives?
Yeah.
Okay. Now he's up to 5?
4.
Wow. What kind of massacre?
I had
2 of them are sisters.
I had one for 15 years.
Yeah,
that was more than enough.
That's all I'm saying. One's more than enough. Why do you want that coming from 4 different angles?
Oh, I ask my husband that all the time. I'm like, do you want more wives? And he's like, nope. Your problems are all I can handle.
So wait, 2 of them are sisters?
Yes.
Ooh,
I
that's
think
gotta be
it's wife 1 and 3
That
are
is
sisters.
a weird Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
You passed the potatoes. By the way, you guys are super weird.
And apparently they bought land, 40 acres in Arizona, that they were going to have their sister wife clan.
Now, I've seen Big Love. If you all remember that show, the HBO show from the 2000s with, he's no longer with us. What's his name? Big time actor.
It was, I know who you're talking about.
He was in Tombstone. He was in Apollo 13.
I literally can't think of it.
What is his name?
I should know this. But this is where IBMD comes in.
Oh, shoot. I'm going to be embarrassed when you say the name. He died, having surgery from the anesthesia.
It's not Garner. That's the word. That's the name that keeps popping in my head is James Garner.
Paxton?
Bill Paxton. Yep. Thank you
That's
very
it.
much. I couldn't remember. That name just would not come off. But I remember Big Love with Bill Paxton. And they bought cul-de-sacs. Remember they had a cul-de-sac and they had 4 houses. They were all right next to each other. And that was his sister wives and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's all creepy.
It's fascinating and creepy all at once.
Yeah, but the guy looks creepy.
Cody does look creepy.
I look at him, I'm like, how did he pull in 1 wife, let alone 4?
Yeah. Well, the first 3 are not good looking kind of gals. Robin is kind of good looking.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I don't remember. I'm trying to think. How many kids they got?
A ton.
A ton. There's a dozen, right?
Because they all have tons of kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's weird and creepy.
Do they have jobs other than TLC? Does he have a day job?
I don't
Big
know.
Love, they had a big hardware store.
I don't know
conglomerate.
what he does. I would think he would have.
I would
a job,
imagine.
but I don't.
You got to
know.
have good money to support that many family
4
members.
wives.
Yeah.
And
I'm guessing
tons
they
of
don't
kids.
work or nothing. The wives aren't allowed to work. Or
I think
anything.
one of them does. One or 2 of them do.
Okay, I didn't know if that was
But like
they
I
weren't
said,
allowed
everything
to.
I know, I'm not kidding, is based off of maybe 10-minute clips off of Facebook.
Huh. Well, that show still creeps me out, but I am oddly curious on. Well, we always liked it. It's like the Duggars.
Yes.
Like that
19
was,
and counting.
Yeah, that group, and then one of those kids is a child molester or something, right?
Yes.
Or is it the dad? I'm
no,
not
one
sure
of the kids
one
is
of the
a child molester, and then something's going on with one of the sisters.
Like inbreed type deal?
Yeah. See, once again, I'm telling you, I get some of my news from Facebook, so probably not very accurate.
Pretty soon, the most normal people in TLC are the ones that eat their hair.
Yeah.
Those are gonna be the normal ones.
What's that show called? That they eat hair and.
My Strange Addiction.
Yeah, My Strange Addiction. Yeah. You know which one I do kind of have I'm a kind of a guilty sucker for? The Cheapskates one.
Yes.
The extreme cheapskates where they have those people that do all these crazy things to save $1, and really they're not saving that much money. And
no, they're not.
They're just living like weird homeless people. But
right?
And I'm pretty sure all that's shtick for the show.
I would hope so.
I think most of their families wouldn't put up with much of that nonsense. Like if they're like there's one that hooked his power up to a bike. So if you wanted to watch TV, you had to ride the bike kind of thing, which in theory that's a good idea. I mean, but who's going to follow that? You know.
Oh, I know. There's once again, I've seen clips on Facebook.
Yeah. I think they just do it to get on TV. It is 17. We should probably talk chamber business here with Andrew Moore. So let's get this hour of the show going. It is 9:17. Let's take a look at your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. It looks pretty good for the next couple of days, but we do have a low-pressure system that'll be rolling in on Thursday night and Friday. That may bring us a few showers. In the meantime, sunny and breezy today. We're looking at upper 60s for the afternoon high, down to about 30 and clear for the overnight hours, and then mid-60s and sunny on Thursday. Scattered showers coming up for Friday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
And thank you, Steve. Currently 38 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 30%. Winds are out of the south at 3 miles per hour. All right, the rest of this week's a little weird. I ain't going to lie. Weather-wise, it's a little weird, man. Very Sister Wives-esque. Sunny, 67 for a high today. South winds 10 to 20. So warm, a little breezy. Tonight, mostly clear. Overnight low of 29. Southwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday. During the day, pleasant might be a word you use. Sunny, 65 for a high. East winds 10 to 15. Later in the day, increasing 15 to 20. And then Thursday night, after a nice day of mid-60s temps, we got a 20% chance of snow showers after 11 p.m. Increasing clouds with an overnight low of only 25. They use the term blustery because the winds are going to be kicking up out of the southwest. 10 to 15 early. Later in the evening out of the north, 20 to 25, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour. And then Friday, we're looking at a 60% chance of snow before 11. Mostly cloudy, then gradually clearing, but our highs we're not even getting out of the 30s. 38 for a high on Friday with north winds 15 to 20 miles per hour. And then the weekend warms right back up again. Sunny and 64 on Saturday. By Sunday, we're in the 70s, sunny and 73. And then we're going to be hanging out we're going to be pushing 80 by Tuesday next week. So enjoy your snow for Thursday night and Friday. That's what we're dealing with the next couple days. All right, it is 19 minutes after 9. We're going to take a 2.5-minute commercial break here, and then we'll talk with Andrew Moore and chamber business on the other side. Don't go away.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed, antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
At LeGrand Funeral Chapel, we believe that every funeral should be a reflection of the life it honors. The joys, the triumphs, the faith, the family, and so much more. For us, no detail is too small, no request too big. This is Rosa Aguilar. When the time comes to choose a funeral home, we hope you'll let us serve your family. At LeGrand Funeral Chapel and Crematory, we make it personal.
When I'm ready for new furniture, I don't want to wait for it. I go to Glenn's Furniture, where everything is ready for immediate delivery. Beautiful power reclining furniture, gorgeous dining room sets and bedroom sets, and the world's most comfortable mattresses. Glenn's has the quality furniture I'm looking for at the best prices around, in stock and ready to go home. So don't wait around. Hurry to Glenn's Furniture at the corner of Union and Alameda, delivering for free since 1953.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. The education assistance I received made it possible for me to be the first person in my family to go to school and graduate debt-free. That education helped get me to the first day at my dream job, a job that I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job plus the other benefits possible from the Army National Guard, helped me become a first-time homeowner. Also, part of my role as a National Guard soldier means I know that I can be one of the first to respond and help my community if disaster ever strikes. I'm extremely proud that I get to serve my community, and that first step I took by joining the Army National Guard has made all the difference in my life. Talk to your local recruiter or visit nationalguard.com to find out what firsts are available to you in the Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard. Aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Slugs have 4 noses, but no fingers to pick them. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in the studio this morning from the Roswell Chamber of Commerce, Executive Director Andrea Moore back with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
Pretty good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, doing good. Monday. Okay, I'll talk about this. Sorry.
No worries.
People always like to text me during the show about non-show stuff, and then I'm like, I don't need to deal with that right now.
Yeah. So I was originally going to come on and push Rise with Roswell.
Is it sold out?
We are sold out.
I saw, like I was saying earlier on the show, I got an email late yesterday saying it was almost sold out. So I was like, I don't know if there's still tickets. We'll find out here this morning.
We were down to the last 40 tickets yesterday. So Liz and I sent out an email that said, hey, you better hurry up. And within an hour, we had all of the tickets sold.
Okay. Now, let me ask this. I know you're always looking for sponsors and things.
We're always looking for sponsors.
If someone comes in still even at this low moment says, I'd like to be a sponsor part of this, they can still
absolutely
get in on all of it.
And we'll figure something out because we're over at the fairgrounds at the new building, the sale building right there.
Does it have a name yet, or is it still just the new building?
It's the sale building is what Leslie was telling me. I think it's called something else too.
Like it's named after somebody, I'm guessing.
But everybody knows it as the new building.
Yeah. Till they build a new building, it's going to be the new building.
Correct. And so we're excited, and it has changed from where it was in years past because we decided I'd rather have the smaller building with heat.
Sure.
And be standing room only, and then next year we can always go back to the bigger building.
When you rise over Roswell's in the desert, and even in the warmer months, it's still a little
chilly at 6 o'clock in the morning.
6 in the morning. So yeah, a little heat to go with your cup of coffee and breakfast might be
Absolutely.
Nice.
And it's being catered by Cerritos,
Soul and
Cerritos. So we're going to have bacon and eggs and sausage, biscuits, gravy.
I just so happen to have weirdly enough, I ordered the bacon and eggs Saturday morning when I had breakfast over at Cerritos. I was like, you know what? I just want. Because every time I usually get the burrito or something, I was like, I just want regular old breakfast day. And I got bacon, eggs, and
they do a really good job.
I licked the plate clean.
And of course, Dairy Producers has been a huge supporter of Rise with Roswell. And we've got Tim Moffitt, the agricultural comedian. I had never heard of him before, went and checked him out, and he is hilarious.
Good.
And in all sense of the word, hilarious that I sat there and laughed a lot. So, and then we've got some other little things that we will be doing for Rise with Roswell as well, because it's our first one in 2 years.
Yeah, the COVID put it on hiatus for a couple years here. So, hopefully everyone that got your tickets, come on out and get there. Like I said, it's dark 30. Of course, you knew this when you got your tickets.
That's right.
But it's going to be an amazing breakfast, a great panel of speakers, a great guest speaker here. It's an amazing event, and it's really our community's opportunity to recognize and thank the farmers and ranchers, the agricultural industry, which we don't go without them. We talk. I know oil and gas is very big in this part of the woods, but we in this area really rely more probably on the agriculture.
Well, as Representative Candy Spence-Ezell says, if you eat, you're part of agriculture.
Absolutely. She's not wrong. You're right. And I do love to eat. So
Amen.
I'm a big supporter of ag. I eat a lot.
Absolutely. So we're excited. And if you haven't gotten a ticket, call us and we can put you on a wait list.
Okay.
Because there's always the possibility
people cancel last minute.
People cancel at the last minute, or some of our table sponsors will call and say, you know what, we're going to donate so many tickets out of our tables. So we want to get you on that list and you can come on in and we'll make sure we get, if we can, we're going to get you in.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if we can squeeze somebody in, we'll try to do that because it's a lot of fun, but it is a really good, informative, meaningful event that when. And I'm sure the farmer and ranchers get to do it because it's kind of like lunch for them, I think. It's breakfast for us, but they're like, yeah, we've been working for 3 hours already. It's kind of like a brunch, mid-morning break.
Second breakfast.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
Very good.
So we're excited for that.
Okay.
And then next Wednesday, so a week from today, 5:30, we've got Peggy Aragon, who is running for lieutenant governor on the Republican ticket, is coming in for a meet and greet.
Okay.
I believe that she's going to be part of the panel for Republican women that day for lunch.
Yeah, they're doing the gubernatorial one on the 15th.
Correct.
And then the next day, they're doing the lieutenant governor.
Correct. And so then she's doing her own meet and greet at the chamber, 5:30 to 7.
Okay.
On the 16th, that's next Wednesday, so a week from today.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
And I think that's great for people because I'm sure, obviously the gubernatorial race gets the main spotlight. It just does.
Yeah.
But, equally important is that lieutenant governor race.
Yep.
And we've got, at least 4 candidates? I don't remember the number off the top of my head.
I know 2 for sure now because coming out of convention, Anthony Thornton got the most delegate votes, so he's the only one that made it on the ballot from convention.
Okay.
But then every other candidate has the opportunity to go get more signatures and get put on the ballot.
Okay, and then I think I just saw online here in the last hour that a 5th Republican gubernatorial candidate has now got enough signatures to be on the ballot. So now that they're back to 5 on that one.
So and that's what we're, my goal between now and the primary in June is to have any contested race, Republican, Libertarian, Democrat. I want every single one of those candidates through our doors.
Sure.
And then, of course, between now and November, every candidate to come through. Because even if they're not your political party, I think you need to be informed and at least know who is running against who and what, who's doing what and what they stand for so you can vote accordingly.
Some of these people you're going to meet and greet are going to be representing you. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean? And you need to talk to them, learn them, even if you vote for them or not vote for them. You kind of want to know where they stand and where they're going with things. So,
absolutely. And then you hold them accountable when session starts next year.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. This is how our government works. We're supposed to work.
I'm all for having phone numbers and email addresses to contact your elected officials.
Sure. Well, in the world we live in, I think, a lot of people want transparency and want, you may not like the decisions that are happening or coming from it, but at least want to know how the decisions are made, where that's coming from. And I feel like and this is just not New Mexico, this is, I'd say, countrywide. We're kind of tired of being left in the dark for everything and being told this and what we know is better for us, and we're too stupid to understand why it's this way and all that. And I know they're not saying it directly, but they kind of are. And no, I'm all for let's inform. The best thing we as a public can do is educate ourselves and understand and go for those things. Otherwise, you're going to see what you see on Facebook right now.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm one of those people that I call and email my elected representatives, whether it be city council, county commission, all the way up to, Yvette Harrell. Well, she's no longer my congresswoman, unfortunately, because she's done a great job for us. But it's, I
you can
feel
move
it's
to the
important.
Boot Hill if you need to.
I guess I could with the other 5 people.
You and 6 others.
But so that's what our goal is. And of course, the board has said if I do it for one, I have to do it for all.
Sure.
And I enjoy this. So I've really gotten out and tried to meet anybody that's a candidate and say, come on, I need you to come through. the chamber, and then it's up to the candidate if they show up or not.
Sure.
All I can do is offer our space.
Give them the opportunity and let them either take or not take advantage of that. So very good. So hopefully we're going to see more of these in the next couple months here.
I'm
as
hoping so. I love it.
We're now officially in primary season now that the municipal elections passed.
Yes.
Everyone's turning their attentions.
And
to
yesterday
the primary
was sign up day for everybody else. Yesterday was by 5 o'clock yesterday, you had to sign up if you were running for magistrate judge, county commission, representative.
Declaration day.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
and then I think today's canvassing day, if I remember right. The county clerk and them are going to be canvassing.
I believe so.
The municipal election results today because tomorrow's city council, and that's when I believe they're going to,
give
final
the
meeting
official results.
Final meeting for the outgoing members and welcoming the new ones to the,
I believe
to
so.
the city council.
And then April 1st is when all of the new elected get sworn in at the city level.
Gotcha. Very good.
Lots of interesting, fun things. I think it's interesting and fun. Not everybody else thinks it's interesting and fun.
Some love it. Some are like, I'm done with this stuff, and I get both of them.
I love it because I love to see our democracy work, and this is part of it. Is when in with the new, out with the old, and sometimes it's in with the old as well because there are many times that we get our elected officials reelected.
Absolutely. So we'll see. We just pray for the best for everybody, and hopefully things turn out well. So what other? I know there's a couple other events and things. We want to put on
so then
radar.
We've got Roswell Now magazine.
It's been out a couple weeks, about maybe 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we have some more copies at the office. If anybody would like an extra copy or two. And of course, we make sure that we go to the hotels, the hospitals, different businesses around town.
Just for the latest episode, if you're, for instance, a fan of New Mexico Military Institute football, there's a wonderful article. I kept trying to say article, come out argument. Article about their championship season here, national championship season. Some other great articles here. You want a little bit of some hidden gems here, some of our businesses of past and future, some of that stuff. There's some really good articles in this one. Learning about some of our areas outside of Roswell here that for people to check out Bitter Lake, things like that.
Yep.
There's a lot of good stuff in this. I mean, there's good in everyone, but some really good articles.
And we really are working hard at making sure it's encompassing all of Chaves County.
Sure.
So once again, I'm always reaching out to everybody. If you've got something that you want us to put into the magazine, contact us at the chamber because, there's only 4 of us in the office and we try to be everywhere, but we cannot.
Sure. But if you'd like to get, like I said, contributing. As far as the next, I know this one just came out 2 weeks ago, but the one here for next quarter, what's the theme for that one?
So that's our Extraordinary People issue.
Okay,
it will
annual Extraordinary People issue.
Yes, absolutely. So we will highlight our valedictorians from all of the schools in Chaves County. So, obviously Goddard, Roswell High, Nemi, but then Lake Arthur, Dexter, Hagerman as well, because those kids have just worked so hard to get there. We are working with the Realtors Association with their Citizen of the Year.
Cool.
And so it's that kind of stuff, highlighting, these extraordinary people around Chaves County.
And I think Character Counts is starting to do their campaign for their teachers of character and all that stuff. So maybe some of that will make up.
Exactly. So that's
the timing works out where it shows up in that one too.
Yep. As long as we can get all the information in before our deadline, which is the last week in April, first week in May.
Okay.
So that way we can get it to the printer in time so it can come out in a timely fashion after graduation.
Very cool. So be looking for it here pre-summer, I guess you could say, a pre-summer edition of it that people care. But in the meantime, you can get the current issue that just released a couple weeks ago. If you did not get one in the mailbox, reach out to the chamber, and they'll be happy to get you a copy.
We would love to make sure, or if you're one of those that's highlighted, come let us know. And
Win
we'll
an extra copy or two. Yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely.
We do have a ribbon cutting coming up in April, so it's a couple weeks away, but Stoked Wealth Management Group is going to be doing a ribbon cutting April 8th at 10:30. So, of course, over the next couple of weeks, we'll be pushing out that information as well.
Sounds like a financial planning business of some sort. So, very good. So, if you need help there, who doesn't? maybe come to that grand opening and check it out.
Absolutely.
So,
and,
good deal.
You know, like I said, we're just always looking for content in the magazine. And there are a couple other events that we're working on, but we're not really ready to go public on those quite yet.
Give us a month or so.
That's right.
We'll talk more about those. In the meantime, though, if you're interested, if you aren't a chamber member and are interested in becoming a chamber member, or maybe you were a chamber member and no longer a chamber member, or maybe you are a chamber member and not sure what you're entitled to as a chamber member, please reach out to the chamber and take advantage.
Absolutely.
Of all those things. And like you said, becoming a member, it really, and that's the great thing about it. It's level. So if you're a business, a mom and pop, one store, one person operation, the chamber can very much benefit you. But if you're a international company that calls Roswell home or calls Chavez County home, or one of your locations and stuff, we can equally help you there too.
And memberships start at $100 and go up depending on how many employees you have, if you want to be a sponsored member of the chamber, if you're nonprofit, and single individuals can be members of the chamber as well.
Absolutely, just to stay plugged in and get information, things like that. And of course, you don't necessarily have to have a business in Chavez County to be a member. And what I mean by that is, say you operate out of Carlsbad or Artesia, but you have customers in Chavez County. Guess what? You might want to reach some of those customers, and that the chamber can help you do that.
Absolutely.
Kind of stuff. So when it comes to marketing, to business tools, to all of that, there's so many different layers other than just the redcoats coming out and cutting a ribbon for you.
And we're always retooling what we do at the chamber. What the chamber did pre-COVID is completely different than what we're doing now. And we talk to every member and ask them exactly what they want from us.
Sure.
Because I can tell you all day long all the things that I can offer you, but you need to really let us know what's going to work best.
Sure.
We have some members that all they want is a membership list a couple of times a year so they can reach out.
Yeah.
Other people want us to be more hands-on and help them with different things. So just let us know, and we will definitely make sure to tailor your membership accordingly.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the beauty of it. It's very customizable to what suits your business or your needs and those things. And at least have that conversation. Talked about it, because I know there's so many chamber members. I've heard them up and down where they need help getting a word out about an event, or even the partnership side, like you said there. Maybe your mom and pop isn't enough on its own to do this event, but next thing you know, we using chamber connections and everything, we've got a couple businesses, and next thing you know, you got a big event going on with several mom and pops that's now going to turn out threefold the number of people than you can generate on yourself. And the chamber is very much an integral part that helps do those kind of things.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
And of course, we're starting to work more closely with Main Street Roswell, just because of the nature of coming out of COVID again. We're able to do so many more things. And so these partnerships that we've had in the past, we're able to rebuild and grow even larger than they have been.
Sure. And like you're talking about COVID changing things, and we're kind of, and this is globally, not just the chamber, but we're kind of in a time where, all right, what tried and true things do we want to keep versus what's going to be the new tried and true? Because we had to get a lot smaller as a world communication-wise because of COVID, using things other than, face-to-face. And so business had to do the same thing. So, how businesses get a product to people, how that product is disseminated to its customers, what that product is. Maybe your products change because of this. This is all, and the chamber's doing the same thing. So, yeah, things like ribbon cuttings and all that are very important for the face of the community, and seeing all that and having bodies and boots on the ground and all that stuff. But at the same time, maybe your business isn't beneficial from that. Your business would be much better with an online presence and doing that kind of thing, or some hodgepodge thereof. And that's where the chamber is really coming in and saying, all right, let's utilize all the tools, the ones that worked 100 years ago and the ones that are still, quote unquote, in the experimental stages.
Oh, absolutely. And anybody that has been in or out of the chamber in the last, year and a half, 2 years, knows that my motto has been, let's treat it like spaghetti. Throw it all up on the wall and something's going to stick. Yeah. And what sticks, we're going to continue to do. And what doesn't, we'll move on.
By the way, I think that's an old wives' tale. I've done that with spaghetti, and it stuck, and it still wasn't done yet. Like, I threw it, it stuck. I was like, it's a little too al dente for me. I want it a little bit softer.
Yeah.
Just me. So I don't know what old Italian mom threw that saying out there, but I don't disagree
Perfect
with it.
spaghetti is 7 minutes.
7 minutes?
7 minutes.
All right. I will time
Sidebar.
All right. I'm going to time it next time to 7 minutes. Is that once it enters the boiling water until it's done?
From the time it hits the boiling water to 7 minutes, and it should be the perfect al dente.
All right. All right. We're going to check with Al. Mr. Al Dente.
There you go. My poor kid.
Hey, it's full of dad jokes. That's why I'm a 48-year-old man with no kids. So I got to get them out somewhere.
That's okay. We have a dad with lots of dad jokes.
Sometimes they give me a paycheck for this, but yeah. But seriously, if reach out to the chamber. That's what the chamber does. And like you said, nonprofits too. If you're needing meeting spaces or needing connections, a lot of, sometimes there's, maybe that's making a business connection with a nonprofit. There's a lot of business, especially local mom and pops. They have a special place in their heart for a certain organization in our community does great work. I know, like you see it a lot in Main Street and First Fridays, a lot of like Tuscosa off the top of my head. They're always partnering with the Humane Society. But there's those kind of partnerships, and the chamber can help establish those for folks.
Absolutely. And we've got, we do have a number of nonprofits that meet at the chamber regularly. For example, we've got Friends of the Sheriff's Department. Mm-hmm. They come in once a month and hold their monthly meeting. Once a week, we've got Joyriders that come in and meet. And, of course, we love the Joyriders because they help us with the magazine.
And, by the way, they're writers, not riders. They're
Correct.
Not motorcycle riders.
Like write with your pen and pencil, not ride a horse.
Authors of and authoring of pieces.
Yes. Absolutely. And then the next 2 Fridays, we've got Assistance League that's going to be meeting at the chamber because there's some renovations going on at their chapter house.
Okay.
So I've opened up the chamber for them to meet so they can still have their monthly meetings.
Awesome. Very good.
So it's things like that we're just always looking for ways to help give back to the community, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what my thoughts are about the chamber if it doesn't go along with what the community wants from us.
Absolutely. Yeah. So reach out. Come be a part.
Absolutely.
Stay informed. Another great way is I encourage you to like and follow the Roswell Chamber of Commerce on Facebook and Instagram. Those are the two main ones the chamber uses. That's a great way to stay up to date for any chamber events that are coming up, but any business promotions and things too. If you're looking for great deals from some of our chamber members, you're always sharing those as they come in and sharing, and of course keeping people up to date on the legislative stuff too. What's going on with elections? What's going on? Back when the legislative session was going on, but that it's a good place to just kind of like and follow. So when you're on your wall looking at people's food pics and yelling at each other about things, you can kind of get some information there.
Absolutely. And then call us if you want to be part of our email list. We kind of have the member-only email list that is
comes with a jacket.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we have our general interest list that some of this stuff, because there are things, one of the perks of being a member is that members do get a special email once a week that has to do with chamber stuff.
Sure.
So if you want to be a part of that, once again, contact us. Kyle Whitefoot is our membership and marketing director, and he's fantastic.
Very good. And a nice guy to talk to, too.
He is. He's fun. We'll keep him around a while.
It was smart, a guy that's pretty friendly and easy to talk to is kind of a public relations chamber, and so it kind of makes sense here. But yeah, he's a real good guy. So, and all the staff are. I'm just not singling him out. Every single one does hard work and does an amazing job.
Some of us are better than others some days.
Some are smoother.
Absolutely.
He's a little bit more smooth than maybe some of the other.
He absolutely is the grounding force to Liz and I. Because Liz and I sit in the back and are high energy, and then we've got Madeline and Kyle that are definitely the balance to our high energy.
They're your yang to your yin.
Absolutely.
Gotcha. Very cool. Well, that's what works, and that's great. So either way, they all make a great team that will work for you and your business and our community. So,
and of course, any one of us can help with anything. So stop by 131 West 2nd or 575-623-5695. If you see one of our red vehicles out front, then somebody's there because we don't always have the door unlocked.
Sure.
Ring the doorbell. I can't tell you how many times people just try the door and they're like, oh, nobody's there.
Yeah.
No, we're there. Ring the doorbell because if there's only one or two of us in the office, we keep the door locked.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
For safety reasons.
Security purposes and things like that. But yeah, definitely reach out and really, if you've got any questions relating, any help, needing anything Roswell related,
anything about the community at all.
The chamber's there. As
any
a resource.
ideas that they want, that the community wants us to do? I mean, we are open to everything. If you have questions, I mean, we get there. Yesterday, I got a phone call from, I'm assuming a little old man. He sounded like a little old man over the phone from Oklahoma, and he was looking for specific information in Roswell, so I kept giving him information, but we kept hitting dead ends because phone numbers were disconnected or people weren't there. And so,
a cold trail that you're trying to track down here. Okay.
And so, we're always happy to help in any way that we can.
Yeah, that's what the chamber does. So, and of course, if you just want to come by and visit, you can do that too. So.
Absolutely. We'll make you a cup of coffee and sit down and
yeah,
talk.
usually if you hang out long enough, there's usually good food or drinks just kind of just shows up.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. I was once taught if I feed you, you will show up.
That's right. You can get they always say get more flies with honey than vinegar, whatever the saying is.
Absolutely.
Get even more with steak.
Hey, I'm not opposed to that either. And Peggy Aragon's meet and greet next week. We do.
They're going to be catered? A catered event?
Absolutely. I always provide refreshments, as the eating kind of refreshments, as well as the adult refreshments as well.
Very good. Yeah, I know we had the meet and greet. That was a lunch affair a couple weeks ago. Rebecca Dow and all that. And that was very hard for me not to eat. I had to go there and do stuff, but I couldn't eat at that moment. I had other things going on. But I was like, if I just slipped like a piece of meat and just walk out, would they judge me?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely. Yeah.
He's like, he carried it around.
If you wave it like a flag, people might look at you a little weird.
And then I walk around saying, I'm on the board. Then I lick it. And then I walk out. Everyone looks at me like I'm weird.
There you go. See, we have fun. We're not scary.
It's like they let that guy in the building by
I don't know.
himself.
Am I scary? No. Okay.
Very good. Well, thank you. Appreciate the visit.
Absolutely.
As always, we'll see you here next time. And see, hopefully we got more good stuff to talk about in
I'm
2
sure
weeks
we
here.
will.
So, very
I'm excited.
Good. All right. It is 9:48. Let's go ahead and pause for local news, your Hannity update, throw in some Chaves County sports update, Wall Street business update, and a couple commercials to pay for lunch. And then we'll be back. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley News update. I'm Jared Cirillo. A rescue operation this week in the 3400 block of McGaffey Street after a man fell 40, maybe even 50 feet down a well. Fire rescue operators determined they would need a long rope and made access to the patient by rappelling down the well. Amazingly, the patient was rescued and was taken by air ambulance to a hospital in Lubbock, Texas. The name of the patient was not released. As part of the City of Roswell street maintenance work, pavement maintenance operations called Hot Recycling and some associated prep work will take place on several Roswell streets over the next few weeks. The work will require some lanes of traffic to be closed at various times. The work will begin on Monday. It's expected to last through the end of this month, beginning with South Lee Avenue from Jaffa Street to West Hobbs, and then proceeding on Garden Avenue from East McGaffey to 2nd Street. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
The truth and nothing but. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
I still can't make sense out of the fact that we're begging OPEC to increase their production of oil. We imported 600 and some odd million barrels of oil from them last year. We're asking the Saudis to increase. They don't particularly like us either. A lot of these OPEC nations don't like us. Now, as part of this idiotic Iranian deal, we're going to free up some tens of billions of dollars in frozen assets based on the sanctions we put on Iran. And then we're going to make, as part of the deal, that we're going to import oil from the mullahs of Iran that are desperately seeking nuclear weapons, and we're going to have the weakest Iranian nuclear deal ever. There won't be any place, anytime inspections. The last deal didn't even allow for one American inspection.
Keeping you on the straight path. Later today, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
All right, so who celebrates their anniversary by giving you something? Well, that's Blinds.com with anniversary deals of up to 45% off everything site-wide. You will experience for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Now, you can get installation on unlimited windows for your entire home for one low cost. Just go to Blinds.com right now for their anniversary savings of up to 45% off everything site-wide. That's up to 45% off when you go to Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. It looks pretty good for the next couple of days, but we do have a low pressure system that'll be rolling in on Thursday night and Friday. That may bring us a few showers. In the meantime, sunny and breezy today. We're looking at upper 60s for the afternoon high, down to about 30 and clear for the overnight hours, and then mid 60s and sunny on Thursday. Scattered showers coming up for Friday. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report. It was a great season for the Gateway Christian girls basketball team, but it came to an end last night at Melrose. Gateway's the 5th seed in 1A girls. Melrose was the 4th seed. It was on Melrose's home turf, and the Buffaloes won that 37-31. Gateway finishes 18-3. 2 of those losses came to Melrose. Hagerman also with a great record playing tonight on the road in the boys 2A quarterfinals. Hagerman is 22-3, but they've got a tough task playing at number 2 Pecos. Starts tonight at 6 o'clock. And I got a baseball score to pass along to you. NMMI is off to a good start this season, 3-0, and scoring a lot of runs. The Colts won last night against Ruidoso by a score of 10-0 to continue to stay undefeated early. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Hopes for a negotiated settlement of the Ukraine-Russia war are giving Wall Street a boost. The benchmarks opened sharply higher this morning, looking to break their latest losing streak. Overseas stocks rose as well, and crude prices retreated from a nearly 14-year high. Amid the war in Ukraine, Fitch Ratings downgrading Russia's credit rating from B to C to junk status, while warning that default is imminent as Western sanctions batter the Russian economy. And no more Big Macs, McDonald's closing all of its 800-plus locations in Russia. BMW is recalling more than 917,000 older cars and SUVs in the U.S., most for a third time, to fix a problem that can cause engine compartment fires. Owners of the affected vehicles to be notified by letter starting on April 25th. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Today we're going to give you the 5th key to a great marriage, taken from Drs. Les and Leslie Perot. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage. The 5th key is commitment, living the love you promised.
Galatians 6:9 says, "And let us not get tired of doing what is right, for after a while we will reap a harvest of blessing if we don't get discouraged and give up." You know, one of the keys to commitment is just deciding in your heart, I'm never giving up on God, I'm never giving up on my marriage, I'm never giving up on my family.
Commitment is a promise made and kept by 2 imperfect people. It's good for our kids to see that problems happen and we're committed to solving them together.
If you want all 5 keys to a great marriage, you can go to our website at jomconference.com.
If your tires are flat, need your car fixed, our reviews are better than mixed at Big O. At Big O Tires. We do the job fast and with a smile. Whatever the problem, we go the extra mile at Big O. At Big O Tires. Trusted service, no need to lie. Hop online, our reviews are high at Big O. At Big O Tires. unbeatable service in our stores, and that's why we get such high scores at Big O. And Big O Tires.
You can trust the team at Big O Tires for great service and even better deals. Come in today and save up to $100 instantly on select in-stock sets of Cooper, Nitto, and Pirelli brand tires. Big O Tires, the team you trust. Installation charges extra, required on all 4 tires. Disposal fees extra and up to 10% shop fee based on non-discounted regular retail price not to exceed $35 where permitted. Not valid with other offers. Valid at participating locations. Expires 3/27/2022.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. The education assistance I received made it possible for me to be the first person in my family to go to school and graduate debt-free. That education helped get me to the first day at my dream job, a job that I can still hold while I serve part-time. That job, plus the other benefits possible from the Army National Guard, helped me become a first-time homeowner. Also, part of my role as a National Guard soldier means I know that I can be one of the first to respond and help my community if disaster ever strikes. I'm extremely proud that I get to serve my community, and that first step I took by joining the Army National Guard has made all the difference in my life. Talk to your local recruiter or visit nationalguard.com to find out what firsts are available to you in the Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the New Mexico Army National Guard, aired by the New Mexico Broadcasters Association and this station.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Sigmund Freud once believed that cocaine could be used to help treat a morphine addiction. Mike used bacon to get over his addiction to beef. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 9:58, about ready to wrap up today's show. Of course, if you missed any part, you can check it out at your leisure, KSVPTV.com. Go to the Mornings with Mike Winters channel. You'll find them there. Also, after the show here, Roy will separate the interviews from the main show and make them available, again, at KSVPTV.com or on our 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM Facebook wall. So either way, you'll find our interviews there. Of course, if you missed any part, we have started things off with the ladies from the Chavez County and New Mexico Federated Republican Women talking about their gubernatorial candidate forum happening next Tuesday, the 15th, the Lieutenant Governor Forum happening on the 16th the next day. So we had that and some other good information there. In the 8 o'clock hour, we end up replaying an interview we had with the ladies from Healthy Kids Chavez County talking about some great programs, great opportunities for kids and what's going on there, and healthy eating and activity and all that good stuff for families too, not just the kids. But so we replayed that interview. And then, of course, just a few minutes ago, we had Andrew Moore with the Roswell Chamber of Commerce join us discussing Rise Over Roswell and some ribbon cuttings and other upcoming events. And, of course, membership with the Chamber of Commerce and the magazine, too. So if you didn't get one of those yet, you should have. They showed up in the mail a week or two ago. But if you didn't get a copy or want additional copies, reach out to the Chamber, though. They got you covered. All right. That's about going to do it for us for today's show. Thank you very much. I can never thank you guys enough for allowing us to be a part of your day. I greatly appreciate that. I hope you have a great day. We'll be back bright and early, 7 a.m. tomorrow with the Thursday edition of Mornings of Mike Winters. So till then, take care, everybody.
Talk radio has landed on the all-new 106.5 FM KEN.